And then I think Finn was like, "What's Kajimi?" I think he like has a line where he says that, and Poe has some dumb answer, I think. And then they're there, and they're like in cloaks, and they're hiding from the First Order, who is for some reason kicking down doors in this planet
because it's like a war planet.
And we get one shot where the Knights of Ren are just standing in a doorway
again,
and then they're
BTSing again.
They're just not in the rest of it.
Yeah,
and then
they're the comic relief.
Then they just
it made me laugh.
You said that, yeah.
And then they just bump in to Zori Bliss, who happens to be pals with Poe. They just run into her. Somehow,
it's like, you have the gall to come back here.
And then we get the reveal that Poe used to be a spice runner. So now our Latino male lead, who used to be a decorated ace pilot, is now a coke runner.
Isn't that great?
It's
real progressive Disney. Like I don't even think it's like a problem. It's just like it's funny. It's interesting that like they have been
that slipped through
they've slipped through their progressive
through your fingers.
Like they've been working so hard to be woke and pushing this progressive angle that it's Star Wars is female now.
Yeah, they even do like would we consider the flashlight lightsaber joke like a man shaming bit?
That's what I always thought it was, yeah.
Like I'm like because
I just took it as like a yet another joke. It could be.
Women hold all the power, and you just have a flashlight.
It easily could be, but it could also just be a joke where JJ was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have her light up the area with a really bright lightsaber," and then he pulls out a flashlight.
Knowing it was JJ making the joke,
it's funny because
I can see
he's not as good as the main character. It could be either one. Either way, it's just it's still dumb. Either way.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're here.
And then there's like a weird exchange, and they used to bang, and now they don't. And
yeah. No, they did.
Or like they were gonna, and then he did something,
and then he left.
Basically, there's sexual tension.
It was his old crew. There's sexual tension.
Another great little plot device.
And then Rey freaking knocks Zori Bliss on her ass, and then she's like, "I like you."
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Once again, Mary Sue strikes back and random people just like her.
Like, you're cool. I'd buy a figurine of you.
And
wink, wink.
And this isn't even a big deal, but just, what is her outfit? Like,
I thought her helmet was okay.
Her helmet is fine, but like, she's wearing this,
she's got, like red tights.
She's wearing this onesie, like this cloth onesie, and then it has like metal gauntlets, like metal bracers, and like a metal belt and a metal helmet and metal boots.
Okay.
It's like, what are you protecting yourself from? Like, who's shooting just those spots?
Yeah.
Like, it's not even a big deal, but it's just like, because rarely have we ever seen our main characters wearing armor in Star Wars, but that's usually because like they're not expecting to be shot at, or if they like, or in the case of Jedi, they have a better way to keep mobility and avoid blaster bolts.
Even Anakin kind of had a chest plate, and Obi-Wan had a point where he was wearing kind of clone.
Yeah, and but again, like they have lightsabers and the Force,
and they're also
and they need to keep their mobility
to go into battle. Like they're warriors at that.
And I do think the Jedi should have worn armor, but it's okay because they have the Force and lightsabers. Mm-hmm. And Han Solo was wearing just a vest and clothes
because he's a smuggler.
Chewie's just wearing his belt because
you will never have to draw your gun.
But we have freaking Zori Bliss just wearing some armor.
Enough to be like
it's like Wonder Woman with the
the magic braces.
Like, I mean that makes sense because she's superhuman.
Yes, that makes sense because she's a superhero. And that was fine actually.
She's like, you know what? If I put some armor, I have a higher chance that it'll straight up like when they like the characters put like money in their coat pocket or like a book. Mm-hmm. And then someone shoots or throws a knife at them and it like sticks right there.
And that happens in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That happened. I facepalmed so hard. It's just I I don't even
blocked that
think
out, I
it's
guess.
that bad of a thing, but it was just like, wow, they went with that trope.
But she's like, her plan is to be like, I'm gonna be like those guys.
I'm gonna be shot just in my bracers or just in my belt.
Yep, that's
Well,
it.
and her belt was like midriff level, like it was around her belly button.
Yeah, it was a fashion belt, not function.
It was so weird.
That actress is kind of short, though, I feel like, too.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, so if you put it higher, she
So
would
if you put
see-
higher, she's like, yeah.
Maybe.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
She was fine, I
She
guess.
was okay. I mean,
Why you're at-
It's just like, why are you here?
I'm skipping to the
It
end,
was
but
terrible.
like, Poe gives her
What
the smash eyes, and she just goes like, no. And like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like,
It's like, okay.
no, like no
thanks, JJ.
one, no one wins. No one gets like the
one
Poe. Like Poe doesn't win again.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the girl.
Why?
And like, okay,
Why
so
does this happen?
If I'm trying to draw like stuff out of this, like, so okay, yeah, women have the right to say no. Of course, if we're putting that into a movie, they don't win because it's like not satisfying at all. Like there wasn't any tension, like Poe trying to come on to her. It was literally all the whole romance was eye contact. Yeah. That's it. No words.
I mean, they had a very tender scene on the rooftop.
Yeah.
And she like gave him this thing she was like
the medallion
saving up for.
Another MacGuffin.
But then at the end, he's like, "Listen, we just saved the galaxy,
and like you like
want to smash," and she's like, "No."
And it's just like, and he's just like,
and he's just like,
and
"Oh
and
man,
like, this seemed like a good relationship," and you just said like, "No."
It's like you have history, but okay,
all right.
I hate how like basically the two tender moments that I can pick out for characters are their little chat on the rooftop, and then Finn with that one chick later on, which we'll get
but
to.
There's, both with new characters that just detract from the relationships we're supposed to have built up already over the last two movies, but didn't.
You should be doing everything you can to give your leads character moments with each other,
like,
not with random new characters.
I've seen people like talking about how this new Zori Bliss was introduced only to be like, hey, Poe's straight, he's got a lady love.
Yeah, I saw something, and the same thing for Finn, because someone thought that they were going to be a gay couple, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, people have been wanting Poe and Finn to get together since the beginning, which I understand. They had
great
excellent chemistry in Force Awakens, and I think it's fine. I would have been cool with either way, but like, it's just interesting to think that at every point, our heroes were given a new love interest to keep them from getting with each other. Finn was given Rose, and then Janna, and Poe was given Zori, and Rey was forced into Kylo's relationship with Kylo, all so that none of them get with each other. It's like, okay, why?
All right, then.
Okay.
Why?
I'm like, George Lucas made them brother and sister to like break that whole thing up. Like, it seemed to work then. Why?
Yeah.
So
okay, so yeah.
Then they go to
Babu Frick.
Babu Frick.
Babu Frick.
He's so dumb.
I am Babu
Frick.
Frick.
He's just little alien guy,
and
which is not cool. It was kind of cool in Men in Black.
That
was like 30 years ago.
I will say, like, he's probably one of the best parts of the movie.
He's definitely got like the funniest parts.
Only in terms of like that was not extremely painful. When he was talking, and he had personality, and I kind of liked it. But if he was just there to sell toys,
I wouldn't buy
know.
a toy of that.
I didn't hate him. I think
he's definitely hard to like just because of the fact that he's
the way he's
wedged
introduced
in
is
as
for
a
such a
plot
bad
device.
scene.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have just had him be the character that Poe used to have a not sexual relationship with, but like was on a crew with this guy, and so he's like, I know a guy. He says, I know a guy, and we go to this place. They meet a girl, and she takes them to the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is she
just
there?
cut out the middleman, woman in this case. Like, just have it be Babu Frick.
Oh, another note about the
Babu Frick.
The tender scene between him and X-Flame. In the distance, we see like War of the Worlds tripods. Like
yeah. What was
that? Was a
there
terrible...
were like walkers of some kind, and there was like explosions in the distance. I was like whoa! You did not establish there was open warfare in the distance.
Yeah.
You did not establish that.
In the conversation,
you established that there were stormtroopers knocking down doors looking for us.
During the conversation, they go like, oh yeah, this is a war-torn like city.
And she's like, I can't bear to hear the screams anymore.
Yeah. She was very dramatic. I was like, jeez, get us through this.
Right.
I get it. First order bad. Move on.
Like, what is this?
I didn't know they had this much power, but okay.
I know they're badmans. Just move on.
And this is further blurring their terrible world building. It's like they're the Empire, I guess. They're in control of planets, okay?
But like, if they're a guerrilla warfare, why would it be...
So, yeah, then they're like, all right, 3PO, we're going to do this. It's like, wait, what? We're doing this? I didn't consent to this. And it's like, oh, did not know this is why we were coming here. Did you not protest on the way there? Oh, also, we missed the fact that as they leave the asteroid field to come here, we see, like... some sort of sleek ship that I think is supposed to be the Knights of Ren's ship, and Kylo's to follow them, and it's like, oh,
you couldn't have engaged them.
Why?
While they were chilling?
Why are you following them? What's happening?
They don't engage. They just keep.
That's because Kylo's trying to kill Rey,
but he's not trying to kill her.
Yeah,
he said he doesn't want to kill her.
But do you remember the scene where the horny dude's head is on the table, and they have the meeting?
Oh yeah,
and then he chokes that guy. He flies up into the ceiling, and it's like a really quick zoom in. He's like, my knights and I are going hunting for the stuff. And then they go and do that. So that's what they're doing.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, with his heckin' stupid ass helmet.
We completely glossed over the scene where he rebuilt his helmet.
Caesar was there.
There was a freaking ape from Planet of the Apes.
Apes together, strong. Metal together, strong. I will
metal together, strong.
I make helmet. It look glow. I put LED in helmet.
and I read a scene from the page from the Visual Dictionary. Guess what his race is? He's called a simian. It is straight up a reference.
Wow.
No.
Like, why is there this ape blacksmith guy? Like, it's fine. But it's just like, why?
Why?
It's just a bizarre choice. That's
really
all.
Weird. Yeah.
Just have a dude with make it a dwarf. I would love
that would be funny. Why is it this weird, like, ritual thing where the Knights of Ren are, like, standing around and like, build your helmet, Kylo.
The shot is so tight.
Rebuild it, man.
We don't see any of this space.
We don't know where this is. They're just in this dark room.
I feel like the vibe they're going for is just like, oh yeah, bros are just watching their bro make his helmet again.
Come on, man, you got this.
That looks so cool with like the cracking thing, and then you actually won't use it during the film. Bro, that's gonna be so lit.
He does take it off so much.
Yeah,
and like. Why are you using this glowing adhesive red glue to put it back together? Just forge a new one. Just build a new helmet. I feel like that would. How did you get the pieces that were in an elevator on the Supremacy?
It's a visual.
Weren't they just like swept away at some point? Like.
That got blown up, by the way.
But Lucas, it's a visual representation of my character arc. I have to show the cracks of my personality.
So
that I rape women using the Force.
Oh God,
Jesus.
So then, then 3PO. Wow. So there's this in the trailer. There's that really stilted line from Poe where he's like, "What are you doing there, 3PO?"
It doesn't make any more sense here.
And
it's
more sense worse. In the trailer. It's worse in the movie. I was expecting it to actually make. I thought they like cut it together in a really weird way in the trailer. No, it's cut worse in the film. 3PO is just like walking around saying something, and then he suddenly swings around, and Poe goes, "What are you doing there, 3PO?"
I thought he said when 3PO was like hooked up and he was just sitting there and he wasn't moving.
No, 3PO was just walking around through the workshop and he just turns around and then he's like, "What are you doing there, 3PO?" And
that's right.
He just turns around to look at him.
3PO repeats the line from earlier where he's like, "If we don't win this, it's all for nothing."
Yeah, and then he's
like, "Taking one last look at my friends."
And then
what we don't know is that pulled up on his digital eyes is a picture of him and the cast from the original trilogy hanging out.
and
so then they hook him up, and then he reads it, and then they wipe his memory.
Yep.
And I still don't get why that works. I still don't get that.
I mean, maybe it's like
doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so I'm sure like maybe there's like a computer security like protocol that like might.
But it don't they tell Babu Frick to like start the wipe? They're like, okay, he read it. You can start the wipe now.
No, I think he starts it. The red eyes happen, and then 3PO shuts down.
Okay, I might be remembering.
I think that's what happened. It's just it's a lazy writing
and then
thing to like
this
make
whole,
their.
I have a backup.
This entire scene is manufactured for an emotional moment in the trailer to hook us in. It's not emotional in this movie at all. The movie doesn't even treat it as 3PO might be dead. He literally says R2 has a backup of my memory.
Like at this point, it feels like the sequel trilogy like only exists to kill all OT characters.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because then. Later, boy, there's this anti-Star Wars joke where 3PO's like, oh, hey, hello, have I met you before? And R2 is looking up and he's like saying something, and 3PO's like, what are you doing? What are you... Cut! And then just suddenly, in the middle of his sentence, we cut to the next shot, and he has his memory restored by R2.
Yeah, R2's got his little thing in 3PO's head.
Star Wars doesn't do that kind of a cut. Like,
you let them finish, like, their thing.
And 3PO even says in that scene, he's like, memory restoration complete. It's like, why does your droid say that? That's so dumb.
Well, and it's just...
What is this, my Google Home telling me
like,
to have Wi-Fi connection? Like...
I just...
Such lame writing.
It's not like it's a bad thing that they did that cut necessarily. Like... It is a form of comedy, I will recognize that, but it's not a form of comedy Star Wars has ever used, and neither is it a filmmaking style we've ever used. We've never used that kind of a cut before. We've never done smash cuts in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like you should keep the aesthetic consistency of the filmmaking style, at least in the main saga.
Yeah.
So... Then there's the rooftop scene where Zori opens her visor and we see, pretty eyes. And then she's like, talking.
There's a chip that will do everything
she's like, I haven't been able to get off this planet because for some reason there's no ships on this planet. You just can't get off. It's just impossible. Oh, and then she's like, but I saved up and I got this First Order Captain's Medallion, which allows for immediate... passage off of no questions asked onto any ship. And it's like, whoa, hold on, how? What?
Why does this exist?
Don't they,
dude? This is a mass-produced like Death Star event. This is what this is.
And like, don't.
Why would the First Order have that?
Like, okay, so there's this thing that we see on the shoulders of Imperial officers in the original trilogy, and Rebels, and I believe Clone Wars at some point delves into this, and I think the visual dictionaries talk about it, and some books have them. They're these little cylinders, they're called code cylinders. They sit in a little pocket on the shoulder, they take them out, and they can slot them into like doors and stuff to open it. It's just like a quick passcode. It's a key card.
Okay.
And I think maybe they can also put it in like a ship dashboard to say these are my codes. Let me through. But like usually there's also like talking involved and stuff. Like this is a whole thing in Return of the Jedi. It's an older code, sir, but it checks out. Like we need to use codes. Like don't. And why does the ship they use just have? Why does Ochi's ship just have a slot for this medallion? To be read by the Star Destroyer.
It's universal. The problem. It's USB 3. It's universally recognized.
So
then it makes sense in the original trilogy because this is like wartime. It makes sense they'd have codes, but with this, they're just so confused. Is this a war? Is this some?
And how did you get this medallion? Did you buy it off a captain? Did you kill him and take it? If he was dead, wouldn't they deactivate his code? Yeah. Or at least say, watch for anyone using this, flag it in our database, so if someone uses this specific medallion.
That captain was me.
Or if, like, at the very... Or, like, are they all identical? Can you not, like... what is this thing?
What kind of security system is this?
It's literally so they can get onto the Star Destroyer without a problem.
Yeah.
That's why it exists.
So they're writing these things in to fix problems that they've made in their own script. You're just making it more complicated.
And it hurts the greater universe.
Right.
So then, like, the Star Destroyer arrives in... I think it arrives in orbit in that scene, right?
I believe so,
and then
it pops up.
Rey's like, Chewie's on that ship. He's alive! It's like,
and
it's like, whoa, hun! You can tell he's on that ship?
But you couldn't tell when they were taking him away.
You could tell when they were taking him. You were like, he's dead. I can still feel him though, but he's dead. I killed him. Like, the reason Luke could feel Vader in Return of the Jedi was because he's Vader and he's Luke.
Because like
they're father and son. Vader crazy powerful, another Force user. Chewie's just Chewie on a ship in orbit, and Rey can feel that.
Hi, Mary Sue.
I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just weird.
It's very
seems
easy.
Contrived.
It's very lazy.
It's lucky.
And why would you have that be the moment where she finds out he's alive? Wouldn't you rather have that in person? I feel like that'd be more emotional.
Also, I didn't talk to you guys about this, but as they're like leaving the little workshop, they go up a mini flight of stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And as they go up this mini flight of stairs, BB-8 rolls, and it's a flight of stairs.
Oh, and this was when before they got into Babu Frick's workshop. This was when they were just going through the streets. I remember this. We both shared a look.
And
there was
there's just
a
ramps.
little pile of dirt.
BB-8 and there were two. They were two like two
I
by
noticed that
four.
too.
The planks
That is
of
so
wood,
lazy.
2x4s just on the step.
Yep.
And I'll give this the benefit of the doubt. There could be rolly droids on this planet, on this street. They set those up for their rolly droids.
This is a war-torn city.
But it's just like, wow.
I thought it was
that's
like little piles of
convenient.
dirt.
That's very convenient.
It could have been possible.
It was,
I thought they were like 2x4s, but
I know exactly what happened. They got to shooting this scene,
and they were like, wait a second.
They were like,
no,
BB-8 can't follow them.
And
so instead of saying, let's just cut it before he gets there, they were like, let's just add some dirt so he can roll up.
Yeah.
I don't. It's just again. It's just lucky. It's just like
lucky.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
But I think that's chalked up to bad filmmaking. Like, just and like they're pandering for a new character, which please don't do. And
right.
Also,
it was just a symptom of the.
You're responding to problems in your own script.
Yes.
That shouldn't be there in the first place. It's like if you're writing the script, don't write it with these problems.
Really? Have him little boost, dude. Because if BB-8 had like a little launchy pad, like one of his like arms could like launch, and he could just boing, like that fixes the problem, and it makes him a little bit cooler.
You could have a little joke too. You know, he's just stuck there.
You could have like Poe pick him up.
Yeah,
it would actually be really cute if he picked him up and helped him out of his steps. But then at the same time, it would be like, why did you make rolly droids in the first place? Although now that I think about it, how does R2 get up steps?
He flies.
Well, yeah, in the prequels.
But R2 has 3. He's tripod. He does
have 3
so
legs.
he could like walk up
theoretically,
slowly.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the logistics of how droids work in Star Wars is always in question, but I think this is one of the most glaring moments of just like, wait a second.
Like, what is the point of this droid? What was it made for?
Why does it roll? Apparently, it's completely replaced astromechs. It's like, wow, thanks, Disney. You replaced the astromech iconography with your new rolly ball.
And I thought astromechs were meant to like help with ships, like in Phantom Menace. They were meant to be able to go out on the outside of ships.
Oh yeah, how does he do that? How do BB-8 units do that?
I mean, yeah, what? They just get blown away because they don't do it.
And like even in Last Jedi, like in the war room on the Radis, the table Leia's standing around during the battle. I noticed this recently when I was rewatching a scene to figure something out. There are like 4 BB units rolling around in this war room, except they're all like black. Like they're the same model as
they're
the same model as the Nazi droid from the later in the movie. And I saw that, I was like, whoa, you guys, you can't do that
for the scene.
Whoa,
what?
They might have been like very, very dark gray, but like Nazi.
Paint them colors.
Like, wow.
You had time to change the look of X-wings.
And why are there BB units?
A lot of the shots in Last Jedi of that bridge are just things randomly running around in the background. They're like soldiers always running back and forth.
I think we can safely establish the movie sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So does this one.
That's what this podcast is about.
So does this one.
We're gonna stay focused on this film.
So then they just fly up there, land, they get out. There are 2 stormtroopers who come up. They say,
like, hey!
And then they just blast them, just slaughter them, and then run out. And then, like, Poe or Rey is like, which way do we go? Finn's like, no idea. Follow me. It's a joke, guys. Did you laugh? I laughed. No, I didn't.
For a second there, I thought I was watching, like, real-life footage of the writers.
It's like just dead air.
Where do we go with this script?
I don't know.
Follow me. Let's do this.
Man,
it's just like
maybe it'll work.
What? It's just for like snappy, vaguely funny banter, keep things moving. That's JJ's thing. Where do we go? I don't know. Follow me. Let's go. It's just like okay. And then they run across. Wait, so don't stormtroopers... Are there more stormtroopers in that hangar that they shoot at? I can't remember if they run out.
Yeah, they shoot down a couple. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because there's some shooting at them. And then they go into a hallway, and then more show up and don't shoot them immediately. And they're like, freeze! And then Rey's like, it's okay that we're here. It's great that you're here. And it's like, you're relieved that we're here, she had to add, for some reason. And
one of the stormtroopers pees in his pants.
One of the guys says, oh, it's really great that you guys are here. Like, he says guys. And I was just like, it's not really a word in Star Wars.
It's a throwback to, like, the bad battle
It's
droids,
just, it's more...
It's like, when the heckin' we, like, I don't know if this was a thing that actually happened, but when the Knights of Ren walked in a hallway.
Yeah, okay, so we misheard this line.
Was it a mishearing?
I'm 99% sure.
Because I never checked.
That they don't say, it's not what we heard. But what we heard is the Knights of Ren, it's just random shot to tell the audience. It's like, by the way, these are the Knights of Ren that we mentioned in Force Awakens. Just so you know. But we don't know how to work that into the script, so they're going to walk through a hall, and one of these stormtroopers is going to say, Knights of Ren. And what we heard the other guy say...
Did the guy say ghouls? He called them ghouls or something?
No, he said... What we heard him say was goals. We thought he said goals. Yep. And we flipped out. We were like, whoa! You cannot have someone use that 21st century 2010s dialogue.
Bro, that's like...
You know!
They're saying that, it's like, this is a polygamous little thing going on here.
We were... What?
Knights of Ren, they're goals, baby.
Relationship goals.
Walking down a hallway together in dark suits. Goals.
No, I don't
like actual goals, right? It doesn't all have to be sexual. Just so you know.
Yeah, I don't. So okay. Yeah, I have no. I don't actually know what he said.
I think he said ghouls. I always thought he said ghouls.
He didn't say ghouls.
I mean that feels like it doesn't.
He might have said cool, which also sucks.
Yeah,
I thought for sure he said ghouls.
Maybe
he did not, Bryce.
Maybe
he did not say ghouls.
Maybe
he said ghouls.
That would be.
Maybe we all had like slight aneurysms at the same time. That's I think
like
that
it just sucks.
Yeah. Oof.
But yeah, I don't think they said goals. But wow, if they did.
Don't even. How do you defile like troopers?
Again, it's just like it's. Regardless, like the sequel trilogy has a strong pattern of using 21st century modern language that just does not belong in Star Wars. Star Wars is a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
I'm like, okay, it's like throwing in like modern jargon didn't even work in Black Panther when she's like, "What are those?" That didn't work, and it's more plausible.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do it in this context, it's even worse.
Like one of my least favorite lines of dialogue in Force Awakens is when Rey is like working on the Falcon and Finn is right there and he's like, "Got a boyfriend? Cute boyfriend?" And I was like, Jesus movie.
Jesus movie.
That's ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. And
Oof.
then in Last Jedi they say like they're gonna blow open that big ass door, and I was like, oh.
Oh, they do?
They say
Really?
big ass.
Nope, that's
I didn't remember that.
Mandalorian episode 6. Freaking what's the comedian Bill Burr? His character they reveal in the beginning, like the first scene he's introduced. This other guy is like, he used to be a stormtrooper marksman, and then Mandalorian's like, stormtroopers aren't exactly known for their aim, and he's like, shut up, wise ass. And I was like,
that makes sense for Bill Burr, but not your character.
Guys,
That episode, by the way, is probably my least favorite.
That episode is trash.
It's so bad.
And made me want to stop. I can't believe I went back to the show
It's
after that.
so bad. Like,
okay, after watching that episode, I went to go play COD and felt it was an enriching experience. I had a toxic lobby immediately after that and felt enjoyed that I had to get something good and wholesome to watch, to play. Like, that's how bad it is.
I don't know if you guys noticed, they only had 2 sets for that episode. They built one hallway and they built the station hangar.
Yeah. No, and then they just used the ship.
And they just used that hallway over and over and over. If they had more than that, I would be shocked if they built multiple hallways. Because it didn't feel like they used
it just was
multiple
like
hallways.
it was just like the
every time they went to a new hallway, it just cut back to like the beginning of that. Hallway.
in the stair and like
there was no continuous.
No, and then
so boring.
Because then there was the ladder on one end of the hallway, and they just didn't show it.
And to be fair, they had that like control room.
They did.
Okay, yeah, but that can be at the end of a different.
Very
hallway.
small though, yeah.
Like they basically built 2 sets.
That was a bad episode. And the dude had guns like on his chest.
And
I was like, why do you have those there? Are you gonna show how you do that?
He was like wearing this skin tight black sweater.
This is the Bill Burr guy, right?
And yeah, with a harness over
He
and
was
2 guns. It was so weird. It just didn't. He didn't look like he was out of Star Wars.
He had like a.
It was a Guardians of the Galaxy
He had a Death Stranding gun.
Yeah, he had a shoulder blaster that I hated
That
too.
it was basically pointing at his head. Like it was just kind of like tilted. Just face palm.
We might have to do a podcast on Mandalorian.
We might.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
Back to Rise of Skywalker. So,
James plug.
Just what you're listening to, by the way. Go check out our other 3 episodes.
It's like when you go to AMC and then they show you like
an AMC
commercial
ad.
AMC ads.
Come watch movies at AMC. I'm here.
You're preaching to the choir. Hi.
So, yeah. Then what happens next? Don't they just find Chewie right after that?
Rey breaks off.
She's like,
yeah, she does the
right
because I know it's important.
Like, I'm going this way. You guys keep going that way. It's like,
and then
okay, just gonna keep this trend of characters just randomly separating.
Rey, last time you did that, you killed a main character.
Listen, like, Rey, have you ever played D&D? D&D 101.
I bet she goes into corners too and hides there.
You don't.
And she doesn't reload.
Nope.
There's references to Bryce's video game.
My video game.
We'll get to during our gaming
playthroughs
that we probably will never end up doing.
He always stands in a corner without reloading his gun, and
in an
And I proceed to die over and over and over.
So, Ray, D&D 101, you don't split the party.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, it results in a total party kill. Everyone dies.
Mm-hmm. It's like playing goats in Overwatch. Like, one guy goes off in the corner and the whole thing breaks down.
But in this D&D world, the Demogorgon is actually a spy, guys. He's actually a good guy.
He only knows about D&D through Stranger Things.
I do, yeah.
Really?
Well, I played the game once too. Hey, I'm applying this to our audience, who's probably seen Stranger Things, and that's probably all they know about D&D.
So,
sure.
Yeah. Speaking of hugs, freaking, I want to jump back to the boardroom scene real quick. Kylo walks in with his helmet, and he's like, "Hux, I'm sensing some tension relating to my helmet." And then Hux is like, "No, I think it looks great on you. Great look." And then the rest of the boardroom is like, "Yeah, it looks great on you, Kylo, definitely." I'm like,
Get off your
remember when the bad guys were intimidating?
I'm the supreme leader, and this is my council of most trusted individuals. We just talk about my wardrobe instead of, Emperor Palpatine and all that stuff.
Well,
Let's forget that happened.
Well, then he talks about Palpatine, and then one of them brings up a very good question. She's like, "Why? What does he want in return? Like, he wants to join us. Like, what does he get out of this?" And then, freaking Kylo just throws this dude into the ceiling, and it's like, yeah, the scavenger thing. And it's like, oh, okay. What happened there is JJ didn't know how to write the ending to that scene. Yeah. So it's just like, oh, I'll have Kylo throw a dude into the ceiling, I guess.
Okay, but it's like, that's a very reasonable question. He's like the only person here, like,
with any brains,
who's not a yes man. Keep him.
So, okay. So they find Chewie. Ray finds Chewie?
No, she finds the dagger first. And their effects. Poe and Finn
find Chewie? Mm-hmm. Okay. So they do that. I'm like, Chewie!
Yeah!
And then Ray walks into Kylo's room, which is stark white for some reason. No clue why.
Like, I thought they'd be, like, angsty with, like, Metallica posters, but...
Yeah!
No.
Yeah, little monkey man's in there.
I think it would have actually been a somewhat decent way to characterize Kylo a little bit more if you had actually, like, made his room have something interesting in it, but instead it's just stark white and there's, like, a pedestal.
Just straight up, like,
And, like, this is not the room from Force Awakens that this helmet was on. So, like... What was that room? Was that on a different Star Destroyer? Like,
do you just have pedestal rooms? Maybe you should put more.
Did you remodel?
Budget. You should rearrange your budget so you're not spending money on pedestals and like maybe good screenwriters.
And then the dagger's just there. It's just in his room for some reason. No idea why he needs it in his room.
It's the beginning of his Sith
Why would he do
collection.
that? He knows the way to Exegol. Why would he put it there? I don't know. Why is it? Why?
Why did he take it personally?
Well, are Chewie's effects in there too?
Yeah, they are.
Why?
Yeah,
why?
Why
is that in his room?
Why does he care?
Put it in. You've got to have a locker for this stuff.
He did he didn't do the Han thing where he like saw it and shot it and went, where can I give you one of these? Oh, I have one now.
This is like if you had a scene where like he like takes his stuff out of the locker and just kind of like holds it and feels like emotional because it's Chewie, the best friend of his dad.
But did he know Chewie?
That would actually... I'm sure he did.
I'm sure he knew
Chewie.
Yeah.
That would actually be something.
Dude!
Wow! That would have been interesting if he picks up Chewie's bowcaster and just looks at it and just feels sad. You're like, wow, the life I used to have. And then... But no. Instead, it's just in his room. When it should be in the freaking confiscated items locker.
Yeah, they should have a box for Chewie.
Yeah.
Let's see, Chewbacca.
Dude, then we can have Chewie Blues Brothers edition. Like, yes, please. You know, Blues Brothers opens with the
dude gets out of prison. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Dude, I'd watch that movie. Han and Chewie going up. Wait, never mind.
One bandolier.
I wouldn't watch that movie
because it's called Solo.
It's
and
called
it
Solo.
Sucks.
It's trash.
It'd have been Harrison Ford and Chewie.
Yes. See that I'd watch.
That would be good.
I'd watch that one. Or
Um,
like a movie where Lando and Han recount some of their great memories together.
well, yeah, like,
That'd be a great
we
premise.
talked about this before Solo came out. We really wanted that movie to be like told from the perspective of older Han and Lando, just like sitting at a bar chatting about old times. So then anything
and then interrupting each other's versions of the story.
Well, and then anything ridiculous that happens, you could just chalk up to them being old fishermen who are exaggerating their tale. Yeah.
Yes.
I would get Harrison Ford and Billy D. Williams sitting in a room talking. They could narrate the movie. I'll be honest, that's an occasion where I am allowing my subjective desire to overshadow what I think keeping the objective consistency, aesthetic consistency of Star Wars. But it's not because you should objectively keep the aesthetic consistency of the story, and having that sort of embellished story, narration, comedy is not a Star Wars thing. But I personally would love to see that. And also, again, we are advocating for it as a side story, not a main saga thing.
Not at all.
So I'm hypocritical, but not completely hypocritical.
Yeah.
And then Finn, Poe, and Chewie are just running through the halls, dodging blasters shots flawlessly and killing stormtroopers. It's crazy. They're just every stormtrooper misses them. Which again, the reason stormtroopers don't hit anyone in A New Hope is because they were ordered not to. They were ordered to let them go because they were going to track them. The plot answers that question, and then fans were like, "Oh, stormtroopers can't hit anything," and it's like, no, the plot it allows for that.
Like literally today, I saw a meme where someone in Fortnite had a stormtrooper skin and was just like intentionally misaiming because it was funny.
But it's just like, you guys, A New Hope explains that.
They even say that stormtroopers are precise. Obi-Wan is like,
he talks about that.
And then every Star Wars fan is just like, he's funny.
Yeah, it's like, no, the film's trying to tell you something.
Actually,
and then in Empire, they do miss quite a few shots when they're chasing them through Cloud City. As far as I'm aware, that's the only time in Empire Strikes Back where they are missing their shots, is through chasing them through Cloud City. And like, that's believable. It gets a little absurd, but the most shots they miss is when they're shooting at R2 and 3PO.
Yeah.
And those two are like in the opening, one of the opening shots of A New Hope, established to just be able to walk through blaster fire. Like, that's their whole thing, is they don't get shot.
Yeah.
Because I believe, according to George Lucas, it is that the story is actually kind of told through their eyes. I think that's one of the things he talked about once, is that he said the droids are the storytellers.
this movie isn't. These movies aren't.
And then, obviously, Return of the Jedi, which I would say objectively is the weakest of the original trilogy, despite having probably objectively the strongest finale of the three movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ties it up well.
Has the stormtroopers being beaten by Ewoks, which, I will absolutely admit is goofy, and probably I think they should have done better.
They should have kept it Wookiees instead.
Yeah, I think that movie would be
Ewoks.
stronger if, like in the original draft, there was Kashyyyk instead of Endor, and it was Wookiees instead of Ewoks,
Give
because
me
then
more
Chewie would
Kashyyyk.
get something to do.
Right.
You'd be like, yo, what's up, my bros? They're like, we'll get together.
Like, that would be. I think that would have made that movie better, but as it stands, it's still not even that bad.
No. And it makes more sense that they were able to build their base there too if they were just little primitive Ewoks. I feel like Wookiees would have been more violent.
Yeah. Although you could have had like stuff where like they're
The Empire is like big time beating them up.
Yeah.
Then you get like a prison break, like because there's like a.
That's true. Yeah.
Or if they were like a tense like piece, like, hey, we won't shoot you if you leave this building alone. Or like it's on the other side of the planet, or like on a peninsula, and also they only need it there is because it's like in a strategic location, so they can like the Death Star can go out from there.
Yeah,
because I don't know where she could. I haven't memorized the galaxy like map in a long time. It's been a while.
So then Poe runs into the middle of like a quad junction and gets hit.
And Finn's like,
"Poe!" and then runs over to him and he's like, I'm okay.
But we're captured now, oh no.
And then like Finn does not look to see who shot Poe. He just runs over to him and starts checking him instead of looking to the left and shooting the guy who shot him. And then suddenly there's a million stormtroopers around them. And instead of shooting them, they're all like, freeze. Because that's how we need this to work now. The plot needs the bad guys to stop shooting at the good guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it works.
And then we have the Skype fight with Kylo on the planet, and he's like, "Where are you?
I can't see your apple."
I need
Like,
you in my life. Oh, you're already in my room.
Well, yeah. So,
wait
What
for
are
me
you?
there.
What are you doing? There?
so
Yeah,
what?
that's kind of creepy.
What me and Ian both like noticed at the same time, basically in the theater. I think you might have pointed it out to me. Is that Rey picks up the dagger, and then the whole time they're fighting, she's got the dagger.
Yeah.
He should see that and go, "That was in my room."
That's where he left it.
Yeah.
Whereas if she hadn't picked it up, or if it hadn't been his room in the first place, you wouldn't have that problem in the film. Mm-hmm. Your own script is killing you. Come on, you guys.
Really
Those are
rough.
basic things that you just catch.
Yeah. And or it's like or maybe it's like Kylo's low like passive observation like stat in this D&D campaign that
It's
this movie
got terrible
is now.
perception stat.
And then like a massive helmet falling on the floor is the thing that like tips him off.
Mm-hmm. So
also, that hinges on a very convenient thing that his pedestals aren't structurally sound.
yeah,
That they just have things fall off them.
obliterated and the helmet falls. So yeah, they have this weird fight, and it's just like, okay, this is a really powerful Force thing that you can connect across
Disney,
universes.
please nerf.
And like, wow, that's powerful. That you could connect across the universe. And they just do it, and then they fight, and I don't know why they're really fighting. I don't remember. I think does Rey attack first or him? I think it's Rey, right?
Is he like coaxing her with
'Cause
like his stuff? He's like, I know who you are.
I know who you are. I know the last chapter in your story. And she's like,
God,
No, stop! I don't want to know.
That is one of his lines, isn't it? I
He's like,
hate that
"We're
they
gonna
keep
keep-"
referring to Rey as having a story. It's like, you guys, stop being meta, please. Star Wars
like-
isn't meta. Star Wars has never been meta.
I don't get why people are like. Basically, the only thing it felt like these filmmakers cared about were Rey's parents.
You know, right?
It's like that's the only thing that the audience cares about now, so we're gonna keep making a big deal out of it.
Also, Rey's mom is in the show that I've been watching recently. So I kind of flipped out when I saw her. I was like, oh my gosh, it's you!
He did. I remember the flashback happened, and he was sitting next to me. He's just like, ah!
She's great.
Like, points at the screen.
also,
I'm like, okay, I'll hear about that after
show,
the movie.
She's a psychopath. So I was just kind of like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, I think the thing is, I think the son, I think the dad was Palpatine's son.
Which I didn't get a good look at him because I was too busy looking.
And I think she was just some rando. And again, that's another thing. It's like, who is her? Who is she?
We're gonna get a spin-off film about their love story and about how bad Palpatine
like-
was as a dad.
did the son run away, find love? Like, what happened there?
How did Palpatine lose that?
It's important to know who this lady is because she married a Palpatine and gave birth to a Palpatine. Like, those are important things.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have left, like, I mean, maybe they're not, does it ever say that they're biological children?
Or is it like...
Or is it, like, supposed to be, like, Shmi?
Closing of this film where they're just taking on people's names.
Yeah. Or is it that Palpatine gave birth to them? Like, what's the deal? Did Palpatine...
If he can die and come back to life, maybe he can just give himself, like, a womb.
Maybe it's like Snoke. He created his son, who then married someone who had Rey.
Yeah. Or maybe he created both.
Maybe he created all of them.
Maybe everything.
Palpatine is God. He created everything. So they have the fight. The fruit spills on the floor, and I do remember, because I remember you pointing me out that she has the dagger. Then in the next shot, after you pointed that out, she doesn't have the dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I pointed that out. I was like, no, she doesn't have the dagger. And then in the next shot, she does. And I was like, oh, she does. So continuity error. And then the helmet falls, and he's like, "You're in my room." And then
she's like,
gets back up there somehow. I don't know how he gets. And.
So he's like, I'm gonna come up there and tell you who your parents were or whatever.
And she's like,
yeah. And he says, "I never lied to you. Your parents were nobody. And they did sell you.
Their names were and Body.
And they did sell you, but they sold you to protect you from Palpatine."
What?
And it's like, whoa.
That's what you call a retcon right there.
The son of Palpatine is not a nobody. And the person who married him is not a nobody. That's like the most somebody you can be in this universe.
Yeah.
That's really important. Mm-hmm. And also, what happened to they sold you for drinking money. Like, they sold you for drinking money to protect you.
As they were being taken away
by Ochi to... Whoa. Like,
get murdered by the dad?
Nah, you did. This was JJ trying to, like, retcon without retconning? Like, saying, no, what Ryan wrote is true, but also this. But you can't do it.
No.
You can't do that. You can't reconcile those two different things.
All, like, the relational things in this movie are like a Spanish sitcom. Like, it's all a Spanish sitcom. Like, Palpatine, and then, Dad sent an assassin to kill the kids, but not the child up there. And then they go off.
But yeah,
they
he wants
sell
the child
for drinking money.
The motivations changing, drinking money, assassinations, resurrections. It's all a soap opera.
Soap opera.
So, yeah, then he gets up there somehow. I don't even know how he got back up there. I believe it could happen, but it's just like...
I mean, clearly he had a ship to get
people
down.
just move across distances so instantly and so much in this movie. And then... that wasn't even me crying about what happens next. I'm just crying about thinking about this movie.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, wow. So then... we cut to a bunch of stormtroopers about to execute Finn, Poe, and Chewie. And Hux is there, suddenly. We don't know why he's here. Also, back in the boardroom scene again, we really glossed over that scene.
Yeah.
There's a bit where, like, there's a spy in our ranks, and General Pride just looks at Hux for no reason. He just stares at him, and it's like, oh... So Pride just knows somehow.
But
also Pride is like an ancient Sith soldier from the First War.
Pride is such a bad character. He's so bad. Like, so General Tarkin is lit. He's a great
Tarkin is fantastic.
This dude is, like, trying to be him.
I mean, I think he's probably the best First Order character we have.
I like Hux.
But... well, Hux is ruined by Last
Hux
Jedi.
was good.
Yeah. He gets ruined by the speech he makes in Starkiller, and then he's ruined by Last Jedi.
Yeah. No, I'm like, yeah.
He was fine up until the speech in Starkiller.
I thought probably just like because also he's a new character, so they're just like adding characters more and more. And
I think JJ did that because he's like, well, Last Jedi made Hux into a joke, so I can't exactly have him be the big bad admiral in this movie. So I'll just have him be a plot device briefly and then kill him and replace him with this new guy who Hux was supposed to be.
And his acting was just like, it felt bland to me. Maybe
yeah. Well, it's the writing too. It's not a very interesting.
What can you do?
No,
dude, just do. You know, like in the Clone Wars and stuff, they had like the tactician droids. Just do an Imperial tactician.
That would have been sick.
Yeah. An Imperial tactician.
That would be sweet.
Dude, and give it like a really like scary voice.
That would have been really cool.
Those guys were pretty sick.
Yeah, just do that.
Would have been a nice callback. Would make sense. Yeah. Oh. So then Hux is there, and he's like, "Give me the blaster. I want to execute them myself." And then pew pew pew. Pan over. Hux killed the stormtrooper, and then he says, "I'm the spy!" As it zooms in on his face.
I'm the spy!
Whoa! JJ! JJ! Honey! JJ Abrams! Dude! J. Jonah Jameson Abrams! Come on, you Jar Jar!
Spy movies!
Bro!
Dude.
I'm the spy!
So many things wrong with that scene. So, first of all, the stormtroopers are standing behind him. So he aimbots them. He just, dude! I'm the spy! Like, there's this rage of emotion.
And, like, do they... Like, he says to them, I'm the spy, as if they were wondering who the spy was. And as if like he knows they know there's a spy and wondering who it is, and
no one is literally no one in the theater was like, I'm wondering who that spy was for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, no one was like, or like, oh, that's cool. No one like
he just.
I'm the spy. I think it was just everyone in our row was like,
everyone, and he was just like got on like a grand Shakespearean play was going on. And then it stops, and he runs and goes, I'm the spy! And everyone just goes, what? And he falls on his face. Like, it just felt so out of place.
It's weird. It's a weird thing to do. And then, Hux brings them back to he brings them to the Falcon. By the way, they left BB-8 and 3PO in Ochi's ship.
Yeah.
And Dio, because he also exists. And they just left them there. Sure. And then Finn, Poe, and Chewie are going to the Falcon. Like, they're gonna leave.
And they're not in contact with Rey at all, are they?
No.
So they don't know where she is.
And Hux, and then Finn's like, why are you doing this? And then Hux is like, I don't care if you win. I just want Kylo Ren to lose. And it's like, wow, that's petty, man.
Like, you're actually better than this.
It's really petty, dude.
Poor JJ had all these concepts that he had started, like the power dynamic between Hux and Kylo. Yeah. Like, remember, they were both able to see Snoke's hologram thing?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Now he had to hash it in here. Same with Finn being force sensitive, he had
so
to hash
much
that in.
About this movie would be completely different if Last Jedi had been any good whatsoever.
Or like,
yeah, JJ just had to bite the bullet and change some things.
Why didn't
if JJ had done this whole trilogy, it
at least would have been cohesive.
It would have been cohesive at least. But we just have a back and forth, like freaking sitting around in a circle when you're 8 and saying a sentence, and then the next guy says a sentence, and then you get to the asshole of the group who's like, and all your characters die, and my character comes in, and then and it gets back to the beginning, and he's like, no, my characters come back, and your character dies.
If I may make an analogy, it's really like an earlier scene in the film. Star Wars is like that transport with Chewbacca trying to fly away peacefully. And then here comes Disney hiring JJ. He's like, wait, come back, we need you. And then here's Rian Johnson shows up and he starts tugging it the other way. And then JJ gets all pissed and he's like, no, I need to do it. And he just zaps it with as much force as he can. And destroys the franchise in the process.
And then the franchise shows up in about 5 to 10 years, being like, "I'm actually fine, and here's some good stuff." That's what
we can only hope.
We can only hope. Maybe we'll have New Hope when it comes out.
So anyway,
Maybe.
So and then Hux is like, "Wait, shoot me in the arm," and Finn's like, "What? Why?" And then Hux is like,
"Oh, they'll
it
believe
needs
me."
to look believable. So then Finn shoots him in the leg, and which I guess is fine. Yeah, because it's like,
like
Hux
right
is
in
a
the
horrible
carotid
person,
artery.
but it's just like okay, sure.
Yeah,
it's just a
whatever.
weird. It's just a weird moment.
Yeah.
And then moves on, and then we see Hux go to General Pride, and I mean I think this is later, but I'm just keeping this thread. Goes to General Pride and he's like, "Well, sir, they forced me to bring them to the Falcon," and there's like just a bandage around his leg.
Yeah.
It's like he's like limping. It's like
you weren't shot.
we have better medical technology.
We have the
this
bubble
year.
suit that Finn wore in Last Jedi.
Oh God, that bubble suit! What was that?
Right. What?
Oh,
Sorry.
I hate that movie so much.
So he shows up in Pride's just like...
and then...
He just shoots him. I don't remember what the dialogue is.
So he talks to him. He's like, "So that's what happened, sir." He's like, interesting. And then he takes the Stormtrooper's blaster and just shoots him without looking. And then he's like, "Inform the Supreme Leader, we've found our spy." And Hux's body just goes flying and then skids like 10 feet with a squeak. And that's it. Hux is gone.
Hux is gone. They couldn't do anything else with him.
He doesn't
He's
even
been
like
destroyed as a character.
Scream or grunt. He's just gone.
Also, okay. So as far as spies go within the First Order, you have Emperor Palpatine, who can like do all. He's God. He like has godlike powers and can read people's minds and control like things, and he can't like weed out a spy that's been there since like the beginning of the First
he's
Order.
not here.
No, that's not an excuse.
I mean, I'm pretty sure what this movie is trying to say is that Hux only recently became a spy, like post Last Jedi.
I mean, even still, the Emperor.
Because if he was from the beginning, that's broken. But since Last Jedi, I can believe.
Yeah.
Even still,
since Kylo became Supreme Leader, he got super jelly, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna be a spy."
I still think the Emperor would have been able to like understand.
But like,
and the witch
what's
hunt
your
wouldn't.
plan? Like, how does giving information to the Resistance help Kylo Ren? Help you hurt Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
Like he says he wants him to lose, and it's like that means the Resistance wins. If
Yeah.
Kylo loses, the Resistance wins. You understand that,
And
right?
you
But
know,
you said
like,
you don't want them to win. You just want him to lose. So that means you want him to get hurt or die.
And he's
so
going
assassinate him when he's asleep. Like,
and also, he's going to lose by you letting these prisoners he didn't even know he had go. He wasn't there when they he doesn't know they're on the ship.
How does that?
He doesn't even know who these people are.
Does that help him? That's
I don't know.
Good point.
And you hate the Resistance, so just kill them. It doesn't help Kylo at all.
Then
Rey ends up at Darth Ochi's ship and gives 3PO like everything.
Yeah, he gives.
It's like, here you go.
Her staff, Rey, which she still has for some reason. I'll tell you. You want to know the reason she still has her staff? The reason she still has her staff, and the reason she's wearing what she's wearing in this movie, reverted back to the Jakku stuff, is because for the reshoot, for
the reused footage of
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
She was wearing those clothes. She had the staff, so they needed her to have it in this movie too.
I'm surprised they didn't like ambitiously try to just like CG change.
Yeah,
what she's
I'm confused
wearing,
about that
'cause you
too.
can do that
Because they changed what Leia was wearing
right.
and her hair.
Maybe it's because she doesn't
both
move
of
as
those
much.
things with CGI,
and you can't change
but not Rey
Rey's
to match a new outfit.
Because retrofitting her
weird to
head and
me.
arms onto a new or like projecting something onto that.
Pretty pretty easy.
It's super easy.
That's one of the easier things you can do with
You rebuilt
CGI.
Leia for Rogue One. Like, entirely.
And Tarkin.
The more important thing, I think.
He looked great.
Completely rebuilt Tarkin. Like, it was amazing. A shirt.
Yeah, a lot of people hate that. I still don't understand how people thought that looked terrible. I thought it was like the best example of a completely computer-generated human being I have ever seen.
And
Leia was way worse, but Tarkin was pretty great.
It was great.
Yeah,
there was a bit
showed too much. Too close sometimes, but
it was just a little wacky. You could tell. Yeah.
It was pretty good.
It was
2015.
Yeah, right.
Or 16
for 2016. Yeah.
4 years ago.
And I'm like, I spy a little bit of like this kind of looks like a game. Like it's not perfect, but it was still very good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
especially for a new viewer that's casual, not understanding he's dead, you would notice.
I'm having a blank out right here. What happened to 3PO and BB-8? How did they get on the Falcon?
I literally don't know.
Did Rey tell them to like leave or something when she gave him his?
I don't remember. I think she might have said, "Go find the others." I don't remember.
When did they get the Falcon back?
That Hux took them, led them to it.
Yeah,
it was like in another hangar. Oh,
okay.
Scene we missed. Just General Pride randomly walking into a hangar, like looking at a data pad, and then he sees Ochi's ship, and he's like, "Whose ship is this?" And it just cuts. It's like, okay.
Why are you walking around hangar bays?
You're the admiral. What is this?
No, you.
What's going on here?
Why
are you inspecting the ship that just arrived? Like what?
A silly man.
And do we even need that? Does that do anything for us? I don't think anything happens because of that. That does not pan out.
No.
So you could cut it and the movie's better.
I mean, maybe you could like bend backwards and say like, oh, so he saw that there were intruders, and then the intruders got away, but then someone must have let them get away, and so that the spy.
I don't care.
No, but yeah, exactly.
So you need to talk a little bit louder, by the way.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Well. So
come closer, my child.
Come a little bit closer.
I got a man so big. Oh wait, no, here we go. You're my Kylo Ren. Come a little bit closer. Take off your mask. Da, 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 da. My boy.
That's funny. So then Rey is like in a hangar. I don't know. How did she get there? Is this Ochi's hangar?
Yeah, and that's when she gives 3PO this stuff, and she's like, "Get out of here, kid." And he's like, "Okay."
And she shoots some stormtroopers, and then Kylo
shows up.
Suddenly there. I literally don't remember how that all happened, but whatever. It happens. Kylo's there, starts talking to her. Apparently, I don't remember noticing this, but I've heard people talk about how there's continuity errors in his helmet coming off and on throughout the entire sequence, which I think is really funny. Yeah. And then he's like, "You're Palpatine," and it's like we get this really long shot of her reaction, which is nothing, by the way. She does not react.
Yeah.
She just has the same open mouth, stare into distance, heavy breathing look that she's had throughout all three films.
Daisy Ridley.
Oof. Oof.
She's not inherently a bad actress, just a very safe one.
She's just an actress that was a stage actress, and was thrust upon the big one of the biggest franchises in the world.
I just haven't particularly liked her acting, and I hated it in Last Jedi, but I think that's down to Ryan's terrible directing. Everybody keeps telling me he's a great director, and I'm like, why?
He's everyone you speak of are wrong.
Everyone... I would like to meet this everyone.
I would like to meet this everyone.
He sounds like a dummy. Like I keep hearing people say, like, even people who hate Last Jedi, they're like, well, he's not a good scriptwriter, but he's a great director. And I'm like,
what has he directed? That's good.
And I'm like, I don't think anyone acted very well in that movie. Mark Hamill was like the best actor in that film.
And that's probably all his own doing.
And that's because he's Mark Hamill.
He's Mark Hamill. Like,
here's the thing, too. Directors are responsible for the tone, and the tone of Last Jedi is like... I don't know what an analogy would be, but it's terrible. And then, it has no tone.
And
it's
people
like
also...
a horrible mismatch.
Also praise him for the visuals of that film, which
Wait.
We don't even know if that's necessarily him. Could be the director of photography.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a gray area in terms of like what the public knows about who is responsible for that. But even still, I don't think that movie looked very good. I did really like the way that film looked. There's a disgusting golden filter over the entire movie. Whole thing has a golden color grading.
Yeah, I don't remember thinking it was really good looking.
And I'll absolutely say also, JJ puts blue color filters over all his movies. Yeah. I like that more than the yellow, but that's a subjective thing, and you probably shouldn't put a color filter like that over your whole movie. That's what I would say. The objective thing is you shouldn't put that kind of a color grade.
If it's a very tonal thing.
Yeah, it depends.
Like if
but
it's like a Blade Runner
feels
thing,
weird,
where,
and
colors
since
are very important.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't think there's a color grading over that entire movie. Like I don't think there's a filter over that whole movie.
No, that movie.
No.
They just have very good use of light. Yeah.
Color grading is a lazy little post thing. It's
not necessarily.
It's a lazy way to invoke tone.
If it's a blanket filter, yes. But like in Lord of the Rings, like the Shire, they pumped up the saturation of the green for that.
Right.
And brilliant. Looks great.
Good
idea.
But it's not like a blanket thing over the whole movie. If you did a blanket saturation or color thing over the whole movie, I don't think that's good.
No.
Like Phantom Menace, there's a blanket pink filter over that entire movie. And I personally don't mind it because I like that color. Yeah. But you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It would probably be a better movie if it didn't have that. Marginally, obviously, because it's just a color. But it still affects the visuals of the entire film.
I mean, I think it's a great idea to do with the Shire. Like the filter is for a specific area.
Yeah.
So like have Tatooine be pink and Naboo be green.
Yeah. No, just like make color. Yeah. Just the standard post-process thing of just making colors for certain areas
look how they should,
matching the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. But like just dropping a blanket filter, and they drop a blanket yellow filter over all of Last Jedi. It could be green. I don't know. It's just whatever it is. It's gross. It looks really bad, and everybody's always like, "Oh man, Crate is so gorgeous. The white and the red." I'm like, "Wow." White and red. Boy. So pretty. He came up with the idea of there being white and red. Wow. Here's an idea. White and blue. Wow. It's not clever.
No, I mean
I could understand you liking what?
It wouldn't work. White and blue wouldn't work. Because white and red you have a very distinct contrast. I think
you can have a similar cut. You can have an almost identical.
Look at the sound waves on our recording.
Look at the sound waves on Audacity. Think of Lego blue. Lego blue.
Yeah.
That saturation. Just I will download an image of Crate and I will do it right now. I will open GIMP and I will put this on screen in the podcast. I will look up an image of Crate. Just what the hell is that formation? It's just for the shot. Yeah. It's just so we can tell there's a bunch of them.
Okay.
But why is the right side further ahead than the rest of them? But anyway, moving on from that.
As I'm thinking about this. So I think this cliff right here. Can we cut that out? Because that detracts so much from the look of just that specific shot. That cliff is terrible. So if you...
I don't think it's that bad.
I think it just like... So like you have... Because it takes away from... Because my thing about filmmaking is contrast is one of the most important things like ever. Contrast is like so important and it ruins the contrast with the blue and that. Because the importance of the shot is the white and the red. Not this stupid gray cliff. It looks so much better.
The cliff is fine.
I think the cliff is fine, but I can see what you mean.
Yeah.
I would be okay with it going.
Like, that's first thing.
I think it would do something interesting to the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
blue.
Just looking at that right now, is that not an easily comparable, depending on how you want to pronounce it, contrast.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay, yeah. I think it changes the way that this whole thing.
well, yeah,
feels.
because it's a different
Because,
color.
well, yeah, because it's a different color. But yeah, the contrast is definitely there.
So there we have it. Blue and white. Wow, beautiful. Great job. You're so brilliant, filmmaker. White and blue.
Why is the smoke coming out from their ships the color of the thing underneath?
I have no... Well,
That doesn't make
I
any
think...
sense.
Well, because they have, like,
They have
weird
little things.
Weird...
Why is
These
that
are, like,
grinding up
speed...
the-
They're, like, grinding across the salt, and it's kicking up this salt dust.
Because
It doesn't make any sense, but...
okay, this idea of kicking up dust would be so brilliant if they used it tactily. Like cover, smoke, dust. If these things were
could be
flying around
something.
the front line,
Yeah, they definitely
kicking up
are
dust to cover.
worthless. It's just for the visual.
But like if they had a purpose, there would be much less of a
This
problem.
looks fine. This looks
Yeah, that
pretty
looks
good,
fine.
actually.
Yeah,
I think the
And
maybe-
taking away that filter really helped.
yeah.
I think-
that looks so much
It
better.
actually looks crisp now.
Yeah,
I think the perceived genius, I'm using very large air quotes here. The perceived genius is the plane with the chalky color.
Oh yeah, it's like,
That's
oh
the
man,
it's not the colors.
he
it's-
has plumes of stuff coming out of the ground on this flat
Which-
plane.
I mean, I can't
Like-
think of anything that
Okay,
someone
though.
has done like that's new. Which I like new things. I think the idea is kind of good. It's just not well executed.
Doesn't make
It's
sense.
just like, why? It's only there for
Things are more
visuals
impactful
and-
if they have reasons.
Yes, like if these were used as like visual covers, so that the Empire would know where to shoot their gun.
And like, what if?
Because that could be a super cool thing. Because this
I just found it so weird that there was these red clouds. I just remember being really. I thought
Yeah, because it seemed like the ground underneath the salt was pretty solid.
so
like
bizarre.
crystal.
Yeah. So I don't understand.
How are you kicking up
Like,
crystal
how could you make
clouds?
this work?
I mean, it could be.
I was just thinking, like, if you made. Because I'm just trying to make the planet more interesting too. Because it's a dull planet.
No.
I guess I don't remember if we came up with this. We were just thinking about how to improve this, and someone suggested in whatever conversation I'm thinking of, making it be like black ash, just a field of black ash.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
And
Only
I
the
think
black and
that
red.
could be really interesting.
And then you could argue these are like some sort of mining vehicle or something.
Yeah, there are things you can do, but they didn't do anything. Yeah, you have this be a field of black ash. There could be.
For black and red, you would really need.
Well, it doesn't
I-
have to be red. I'm not even saying
bl-
they're kicking up
black-
anything. Just
well, I'm
have the
thinking-
field. Just have instead of white, just black ash.
And have the black ash kick up?
Yeah,
You would
could
need
do
a
that.
very determined light source to
Yeah.
light your scenes.
Yeah. Well, this scene does. It's got a very intense sunlight coming from directly behind the walkers.
It does, and also like the color, the whites and the red. I'm just gonna say blues, but reds in this scene help, like make the scene.
Yeah, it
Vision,
pops for sure.
But yeah, black would be kind of cool.
Just trying to think of.
I'm
And then if you took away the cliff, then behind the black clouds of ash that are getting kicked up, you would have like a sunset sort of sky with like orange and red leading up into like grayish blue above.
Oh yeah, and then well, actually,
So
with
you have
this-
then you have red and orange directly behind the black clouds.
So I'm thinking of something very like off of that. So you have the orange and red sunset, but the foreground. So the ground is black ash, and then with all of like have an orange or a red kind of dust underneath. So you have the black ash, and then like the ground is a certain color, and then like independent light sources coming from the speeders and the
Oh, if like they had like
searchlights, headlights, and so you have it's peppered with all these independent lights to make more intricate, more details, and whatnot. But hey, trying to fix pieces of trash, it's pretty hard.
Really difficult.
Just throw it out.
Rise of Skywalker.
Start over.
Welcome to A Raven of Many Hats, where every single episode becomes a criticism of Last Jedi. Yep. So, where were we? Right. You're a Palpatine. And this is a criticism I have that happens many times in the film. There's a dramatic thing.
Don't do this.
Alacrity.
You're gonna lose yourself.
I already have.
Isn't that how gay people sit?
Bryce, you're so gay. Sitting weird.
Sing weird. I must be gay.
That's the first sign when children start sitting.
That's the first sign.
When they're not sitting straight, they must be sitting gay.
Hey. B cubed.
All right, so Ray, you're a Palpatine, and then we have this thing that happens multiple times in the movie where a dramatic thing happens, and then we get a close up of Ray's face as in the full a full motif plays from John Williams, an entire theme that lasts a good 30 seconds.
Too long.
As we're just looking at Ray.
We could have cut some
The
of this
entire Star Wars main theme plays dramatically as we're just staring at her. It's like, okay.
We could have cut 5 seconds of this off to let C-3PO finish his thought. Earlier in the film, like, please.
What thought?
The thought of, like, R2, what are you doing? Oh! And, like, that comedic moment.
Oh! That's
like,
later, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, just, like, we could have, like, chopped off
Yeah, they could.
give it to that scene.
We care more about 3PO than Rey, which,
Yeah.
You know,
that's really
something that really bugs me in this movie is that the only things that are actually important to the film are the beginning and the end. Everything in the middle is nonsense plot to prolong the film. It's just them chasing after ways to get to Exegol and having things happen that get undone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could have totally just, like, cut from the beginning to the end and then had a stupid, like, plot filler line to explain everything that happens. Jesus.
It would just be like a 20-minute short film, is there? Huh.
Yeah, huh. Wow, that's
Episode 9 is really weird.
They just wrapped up an entire saga. Wow. In 20 minutes.
That never needed to be wrapped up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was wrapped up. 1983.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I hate the marketing of see the end of the saga 42 years in the making. I'm like, it ended in 83. You absolute twats. Like, wow.
The prequel trilogy, weren't like, see the beginning of a trilogy that started 30 years ago.
Yeah, no.
That wasn't, no.
Even like the saga
See the
ends.
ending of a continuation.
It felt pretty like it was like this trilogy was concluded in the second movie, unfortunately.
Yeah,
That's what
Last
it
Jedi
felt
pretty
like.
much ties everything off. The only, like, hanging plot thread is, so the First Order wins, I guess.
Yeah, you know, the Last Jedi tourniquets itself. Let's just leave
So
it
it's like, what are we seeing end? Oh, plot threads that you're creating in the film.
What
that's
we're
supposed to be
seeing
ending.
end is this film.
See the saga of this film.
I've said this before to Bryce. This movie feels like JJ finally figured out what he would want to make a sequel trilogy about, and he's having to start and end it in one film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Palpatine coming back feels like the start of movie 1, and then
There's some war type stuff in the middle.
Towards the end of Act 1 of number 7, and then
Okay, yeah.
you would have a completely different episode 8, and then the second half of this film is episode 9.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like what he was what he just realized he wanted to do. But
It's like, well, it's too late now.
I gotta do it all in one movie.
what a damn shame.
So Rey's like, and then the Falcon just like pulls up and
The Falcon
fires its
pulls up,
engines, and
Kylo slides a little. Rey stands there and nothing happens to her. She is completely unfazed by this.
Like, does her hair even
Stormtroopers go flying. Kylo slides across the floor, but Rey stands like nothing happened.
Can, like, the new Mary Sue word just be Rey?
That's genuinely what I'm gonna do following this. Every time I refer to a Mary Sue, I decided.
Mary Sue.
Every time I refer to a Mary Sue beyond this, I'm gonna just say a Rey.
Yeah. Well, okay, and then something happens with the droid. Somehow they get on the Falcon.
Well, yeah. So
the Falcon's there now, but somehow they're on it.
the Falcon flies up, and then Finn goes out onto the
Ray!
yeah, the like
ramp
docking
comes
ramp,
down
and he's
in
like,
space.
Ray!
He's in
And-
space right now, right?
They're very high atmosphere.
Okay.
It's not space, but it is very high atmosphere.
And then Ray lifts her hand like Leia in
Ray freaking leaps out of the hangar, and
she does a pose like Leia does when she's flying.
and then flies into the Falcon, and then we leave Kijimi.
Bye, Kijimi. No one liked you.
And then, what happens next?
They go to Endor.
Oh, yeah! They're just suddenly crashed on Endor. What
I
happened?
think they talked about.
There was a
going
throwaway
there.
line about someone disabling their landing gear or
Really?
something. If I
Was
remember
there?
right.
Okay.
They're just suddenly crashed.
I think. Maybe I'm
And
wrong.
also, why did it remind me why they went to Endor? I could, if I thought about it, I would remember. But
to get the Wayfinder.
no. But how do they know to go there?
Because
Oh, right. The coordinates that 3PO black speeched out of his mouth was.
with the dagger, and then the dagger.
So the
Yeah.
Okay, again, Palpatine sends an assassin to kill his son and capture his granddaughter, and this assassin uses a dagger that has coordinates on it written in a language that only Siths can read, except also protocol droids, that leads to their homeworld, and also has no, wait,
it doesn't
no,
have-
that leads to the wreckage of the Death Star to a room that has the way to the Death Star.
It leads to.
It leads to a hill
Yeah. It leads to a
overlooking
hill,
the wreckage of the
overlooking
Death Star.
and then on the hilt,
You pull out a little sextant that's shape matches the wreckage.
like National Treasure style, and then you go there.
Does National Treasure ever pull something like that?
Oh yeah, like they have not like that specific type thing, but it's the same kind of like, oh, you pull this out and
Because Goonies pulls that. Goonies pulls the thing that matches
They're
up to the
ripping
shape,
that's
and
a
then you
better
find
joke.
the spot.
That's a better joke. A Goonies thing, and then you go to it, and you have to be Rey so that the vault opens for you. And then you walk in, grab the Wayfinder, plug it into your USB port, and fly off to Exegol.
Insane. So okay, they crash. I don't. Sure, there's a line about their landing gear being disabled. It's dumb. It's not focused on, so I was
'Cause
shocked.
You can't like hover and land a little.
Yeah,
rock.
they
Instead
literally
of
like crash.
So why is that a problem you need to add to your plot? Like,
No,
why
it's-
add
Well, okay,
something
I'll
else?
tell you why. They want the boating across to the Death Star, so they need to explain why the Falcon
couldn't
is
fly.
out of order.
Why did they want?
You could. Okay, so here's the thing. It's landing gear out. Okay, hop back in, pick it up, fly over to the Death Star, and land on the top of it. Just drop it. You don't need to crash, like Ian said. You just hover, get really close, and then shut off the engines, and you drop an inch.
Or do that. Or do what you've done in Cloud City and earlier in this film, where you're hovering, drop someone off, and then go back into orbit, come back, hover, have them jump back on.
Yep.
I just realized
So many ways you can do this.
Because that would have been a way cooler thing. You could just drop right off. She has a little fight, and then jumps back
Freaking,
on.
like, video game style opening cutscene. You're flying over to the Death Star, jumps out, and then it transitions into gameplay, and you can run right around on the top of the Death Star, and then
you can
Take a look at the world building there.
and then you fall through a
nice
roof,
lens
and
flare.
there's
You
an
can't
animation.
jump back up into
Yep.
So in the plot now we meet this new character, this black chick. What's her name?
Jenna.
Jenna. And
Jenna.
somehow she knew they were coming.
Did she?
Did she?
Wasn't she like, someone told me you guys would be here?
I don't remember. her
They
saying
were like,
that.
we're the resistance.
No.
No, we're the.
So they just like ride up on horses that are here.
Are they actual horses or like alien horses?
They are horses that have a very small amount of prosthetics on them.
Gotcha.
Like they added some fur to them and like weird ears or something, but like they're literally horses. Like you can see the horse.
Can anyone say low effort on one of the biggest budget films
Yeah.
ever?
It's really low effort, and you didn't even need it at all. It's there to establish that we can have the space. Why did JJ want that cavalry charge? Why did he? Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. I'm actually worried that some stuff we've said we'll get to we've forgotten about because we keep putting stuff off. But we're going through scene by scene,
I think
so I
we got
assume
everything.
we'll get most things.
Yeah.
There's no way we missed something.
So no, this film is dense, man.
Yep.
This movie
It's like a
is
fruitcake and a half.
dense.
Yeah. It's like
It's dense in two ways. It's filled with stuff and it's dumb.
Suits did there.
So it like, and again, it's like it's dense in the sense that it's just filled with errors, but like
yes.
nothing actually happens.
No.
Like things happen, but they're immediately undone or they mean nothing.
It's like pistachio pound cake. Like
What?
you're not there for the flavor. Like the flavor's like.
Excuse me,
there.
I'm an American. I've never heard of a pistachio pound cake. What?
Okay. The metaphor doesn't
No,
work for you. Then. Okay.
Your joke objectively sucks.
It's flawed. Get out.
You have a green color filter on your joke? Please remove that. There's not enough contrast. It sucks. All right, so they're there on the horses, kind of like Riders of Rohan style. They're like looking them up and down. They're like,
What business do a man, an elf, and a dwarf have in the Rittermark?
Have you heard about Jesus Christ? We are.
Can you spare a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior,
Jesus Christ.
Emperor Palpatine?
Every spear just.
Maresu.
You good there, bud?
Okay, so yeah, Janna rolls up with some dudes.
Janna. That's
And-
not a Star Wars name.
Janna is okay. I can see because it's Jannah, I think technically.
Janna's
It's okay.
Janna is the name of a receptionist. No other context does the name Janna work.
I'm
I think if
okay with it, but
If we're gonna pick apart the names, I mean, none of them really threw me out too much. Babu Frick was a little bit weird, but then he
Yeah,
did have the accent, which made it like a little bit.
it might be a she. I'm not sure because it's
Oh.
voiced by a woman.
This is a.
Oh, really?
Voiced by
I thought I had like a little mustache.
Moaning Myrtle from Harry Potter.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Oh,
But-
that's a weird little connection there.
Yeah.
Well, isn't Janna the first black female kind of named character in Star Wars? And you name her Janna? Why Janna? It's that's like not a very like monumental name. Like, ooh,
It's
like name her like Rosa Parks or something cool. Like that'd be.
Hi, I'm Rosa Parks. I used to be a stormtrooper.
It's not as bad as that one dude from Solo. What was his name?
Tobias Beckett.
Yeah.
What a non-Star Wars. That is one
I
of
love how
the...
you knew exactly what I was talking
Yes,
about.
that is one of the least Star Wars names I could possibly think of. Tobias Beckett. So, Beckett on its own,
I could see that.
Yeah, it can work.
Would be the worst. Tobias,
Very bad.
No.
Toby, maybe just because I can see it as like
Toby like Star Flight or whatever.
yeah, like if it's just like
Toby Beckett.
the two noises, like
Two noises.
like toe and B,
Yeah.
like hi, I am Toby, like
Yeah.
no, that makes it sound really stupid too,
Well,
especially with the bad accent.
It's the D&D.
that's,
I am Toby. Oh. I am.
But
shit,
so
no,
that's the
Tobias
spectrum.
Beckett.
not that good.
Judging with that in mind, it's not as bad, but still a little
No,
weak
definitely
attempt,
not.
I suppose.
I think it's weak.
I didn't even realize she was the first.
I thought
African.
Jana was okay, but
I thought she was fine too.
it's
She's such a minor character. I didn't care.
At least
So
it was
she's
in Black
there.
Becky,
But yeah,
so
she is the
that's-
first, I believe, first named black woman in a main saga film.
Took you
Like
took
named
you-
on screen.
Yeah, named on screen. It was. I mean, it took you 3 films. Good job, guys,
Now,
for being so woke.
she shows up. Does she show up before they find the spot in the wreckage where Ray pulls out the magical sextant?
I don't recall. I don't know
it's
what
a little,
the order is.
little fuzzy, but
But somehow Ray pulls out the dagger and she like magically moves her hand to this one spot on the hilt and pulls out
a sextant.
like
This is ridiculous that this dagger was designed. Someone was like, okay, from this little hill here, we're going to look at the wreckage and make a dagger that lines up exactly with that.
And like points.
And then Ray and crew show up at the exact point where that dagger
Yeah, they
is supposed
crash,
to line
and it's
up.
like within walking distance.
This is the whole Death Star.
Like,
it's massive.
There's an entire ocean like surrounding this, like around this, and this is the point you land. Wow.
And it happens
that's
exactly.
to say nothing of how ridiculous it is that this much of the Death Star even survived.
Like crashed. Like
I mean,
Like,
I'm pretty sure
First off,
Return of
that
the Jedi-
explosion, it was dust.
They're
there was
trying to
nothing
say
left of that.
this
No.
is gone. You know how big the radar dish? We can see the radar dish from the shot, and it survived,
And,
right?
and it's huge.
It's huge.
The
So
radar dish is massive.
we would have seen it flying away in the shot when the Death Star blew up if it was still in one piece.
It's just ridiculous that it's there. It's just it's still
It's
struck
clickbait.
in yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a clickbait
It still
shot.
exists just for the imagery.
cheap nostalgia points right there.
And like, yeah, JJ is obviously a very big imagery guy. He wanted that shot of Rey in the broken throne room with, I don't know if you guys noticed, the window still has glass on it.
yeah.
Sure. I feel like it would have maybe worked a little bit better if like the people on that planet had like dug through the wreckage and found the Wayfinder or found the vault.
Yeah,
and like
it's
built their society around the vault. That'd have been kind of cool.
Imagine if
Some dark,
if
evil
Nazi-
Ewoks or
Imagine if Wicket turns
Sith
evil.
Ewoks,
Wicked
yeah.
turns evil.
Imagine if Nazi Germany had a big super weapon, like we're going Marvel and every superhero universe continuity, where Nazi Germany has a super duper high tech
That,
super weapon
that like gets stopped
that-
at the end of production.
Yeah,
just
that
in
we
time.
we disabled it, but didn't destroy it at the end of the war, and it's just sitting like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean
Yeah.
or anywhere
Or, like, North
not
Africa or
very
something.
inhabited. Yeah, like the Sahara Desert or something, just sitting there, mostly intact. Over 30 years, do you really think no one will have picked this thing clean? There would be expeditions that would have
Yeah.
gone through
There's
to
so
get
many-
as much imperial like tech
this is
and
so
research.
many
Like there's so
resources.
much on there. Even
Yeah.
just stormtrooper armor.
But there are like ships in there and everything.
Oh, there's so, and I'm like, cause like Rey, she was just picking apart Star Destroyers. This is a moon-sized. This is the Death Star. There's so much more salvage you can look.
Yeah.
Like, the production, because like there's a big there's a society built around scavenging on Jakku.
That's a very good point.
should
We
have,
literally
like-
see this in this trilogy. Rey makes her living by scavenging Star Destroyers that crashed 30 years ago.
I'm like, there'd be like an entire like Death Star like salvage corporation.
Yeah.
It would be a big op. Like, but no.
Were there any
Left
throwaway
alone.
lines about like cleanup? Was that what Jana was like? Some
No.
No, they were.
No.
They just
No.
like.
I
couldn't
don't
remember
even
if there was
recall a
any-
single line explaining why they
are
were
they there?
here specifically.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Rey, they're on the hill, perfect spot. Pull out the sextant that is perfectly shaped to match one specific spot of the Death Star wreckage. Only if you view it from this angle, which is just. I don't even know how that leads her into the throne room. Mm-hmm. Like, I still don't even get that.
No, because like the way that the pointer thing came out, it like in the middle, it had like a dial that pointed like in the middle.
So there's
like,
a red tip on the end.
There was
Was
a tip,
there?
There
Yeah.
was a tip. Thing.
Okay, I missed
that. Was
that.
like yeah. It was just kind of like I was kind of like, oh, that's a point.
Whoop-de-doo. And then she goes in it and somehow still understands where to go once she's
Yeah,
inside
like-
the Death Star.
Wow.
You can't.
like, wow,
It
you're-
doesn't work from the inside. It
No.
only works from that one
Because
hill.
apparently,
And how do you get to that one hill? Like, the best you can assume is that the coordinates led to that specific hill.
Right,
But,
that's
like-
true. I forgot about the coordinates.
But,
on
like, I remember, like, don't they just say, when they hear the coordinates and they're like, that's the Endor system. Like,
there. Yeah.
it doesn't make it sound like, that's some...
It's just like on that
That's a
planet.
very
Yeah.
specific part of the Endor system.
Yeah.
They just say, it's the Endor system.
It's like, oh, I know exactly where that is.
Let's try this hill. I like the way it looks.
Also, I
This
like
would make a
they
great
say
shot.
they say I think Finn says this is where the last war ended, and
Yeah.
Because
even
there's
in
definitely not been a
even
war
in
since,
Disney
like,
canon, the war did not end on Endor. It continued for a year and ended on Jakku.
Yeah.
That's literally in their canon.
Yeah.
That's why this Star Destroyer
Yeah,
is
it
all
is.
over that planet, because the final battle was fought in the skies over that planet. And, like, I get it. Like, it's like, you know, one of the big battles that ended the war, but it's still technically, according to their canon, not where it ended.
Yeah.
And definitely not where it ended in Legends. I think it continued for like 15 years after the fact.
I mean,
which
that's what I want to see
I
more
personally find ridiculous that it would continue for 15 years after the
Yeah.
Battle of Endor. That's
15
crazy.
years, yeah.
5 I could see maybe, but I just feel continuing it very long after the Battle of Endor actually like diminishes like the impact of that movie's ending. Like it's
Right.
less powerful. And I always see even like hardcore original trilogy fanatics are talking about how the sequel trilogy should be about dealing with the Imperial remnants 30 years later. And I'm like, wait, excuse me? It should be a completely different... The original trilogy isn't about dealing with the remainder of the CIS from the Clone Wars. No, it's a new conflict.
Right.
The sequel trilogy should be a new conflict with a different enemy.
Yeah.
Not mopping up the remains of the last trilogy. That's such a weak premise for a trilogy.
Right, yeah.
Well, okay, what
You get to see how the New Republic functions a little bit, but that's better suited for a show or
Yeah, not for a
a
trilogy.
book or something.
Yeah,
not
not
your
a main
saga
Yeah,
trilogy.
I should clarify, not just a trilogy is fine, but main saga trilogy.
Not a
7, 8,
Skywalker
and
trilogy,
9 should be about a new conflict in about 30 years after the fact, with the New Republic in power, the old heroes passing on the torch. Not this nonsense.
Okay, quick brainstorming session. What would be a cool new enemy for a theoretical sequel?
I mean, you have the Yuzan Vong from Legends, which a lot of people rightfully criticize. I think it got a bit absurd at some points, but it's like, it is an enemy from outside the galaxy that has
I mean, it
force
breaks,
resistances.
It breaks character for Star Wars.
Yeah, you would need to
really
work on it. You would need to work on it.
But like,
for sure.
what would be a cool like an in universe like enemy that makes sense?
I've seen people talking about like the galaxy becoming kind of a Wild West with a bunch of different factions vying for power in the wake of the Empire.
Sure.
I'm not a huge fan of that because, again, that kind of diminishes the impact of Return of the Jedi, with like that movie ends and you're led to assume the rebellion becomes the New Republic and becomes in power.
I mean,
we have won. The conflict is over. I feel like we shouldn't have at least a main saga trilogy about dealing with what happens directly as a result of Return of the Jedi. It needs to be something beyond that. I would be okay with a book or book trilogy dealing with a brief vying for power, but the New Republic does have to win that.
Do you think... I was just thinking of this, because, like, I think... I don't remember how valid the theories about the original trilogy, how the Empire is supposed to, like, mirror Nazis or whatever. Like that type of thing.
I think it's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious.
I don't think anyone would disagree
if
that
we
that's
want
the
to
case.
if we want to stick to kind of like the cultural relevancy thing, do like the New Republic is like fully in power, and then we have terrorist attacks coming and attacking the New Republic.
Yeah,
and then, and having it be like this probably wouldn't go over well in like the Middle East, but like have like the Sith be the terrorist attacks.
Yeah, I mean,
it would run well in America.
Completely fair with the
Europe.
Beginning of Force Awakens. That's kind of what it set up the First Order as.
Yeah.
There are
which
lines
was
where
really
they even
interesting.
call it like.
I mean, but
they're doing. I think they say like the First Order is doing shadow strikes in the Outer Rim. I think they said.
But like even more guerrilla, like with like.
Well, yeah. I mean, the
straight
movie
flame
just
jackets.
completely like broke that once Poe got onto the Star Destroyer, because he looks around and has this moment of awe where he's like, you guys are way better equipped than I thought you were. And then we see Starkiller Base and it's like, oh, so they're even better than the Empire, except acting as a fringe terrorist group. What's going on? The movie just completely breaks its own premise.
Yeah.
But that premise was okay.
Yeah.
And
it was okay.
It was salvageable.
And we could
If they had
touch
been,
on
like-
the hidden enemy thing, where like they're among us, kind of like the Vietnam scare.
If they've been like
movie, where,
infiltrating
they're
Coruscant or
everywhere.
something.
Yeah,
infiltrating- that could be something.
That could be really cool.
And then we could see the Jedi Order established, and Leia
and then
as
be
like a queen
infiltrated,
or
and then
whatever, doing.
Yeah,
that could have been really
Hey, look,
great.
here's a better premise. So yeah.
What?
Then Jana rolls up, and she's like, I don't even remember what she says. She's like, hey.
Hey guys, that water's too rough. You can't go
Yeah,
there.
you can't cross this water. And to be fair, then we get some shots of it, and it's like tidal waves crashing down there. Don't know why.
It's like
but
that one
sure.
freaking Japanese painting. Like it's
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We're getting more forced conflict to
like what even
try
is the
to
point
build
of
some
this?
tension.
Because to show how
It's-
to show that Rey can not only like fly ships better than Poe can, but she can drive boats better than people. That like this is their job.
Why can she sail? She grew up on a desert planet.
Not no more than what, a year, 2 years ago. Not like in universe.
Yeah.
Maybe 2
Like
years.
Last Jedi.
She swims in Last
She
Jedi.
swims in Last
That's
Jedi.
worse to me.
How is
Because at
she
least this
swim?
is a ship.
Yeah, at least this thing is like made to float on water.
Yeah.
But you're like, and like you're not gonna drown just standing on a boat. But if you jump in water and don't know how to swim, you might drown. Yeah.
or force float.
Just fly away.
And but also another thing that happens in Last Jedi is she's standing under the Millennium Falcon and it's raining and she reaches her hand out to feel some of the rain and it's like one of the best moments in that entire film because it's just character for Rey. She just like feels the rain in her hand and she's like, wow, this is cool. I've never experienced rain before.
That's cool. I have no memory.
It's like,
of it.
wow.
That's cool.
It makes me feel like that was a Daisy Ridley requested scene or like somebody other than Rian Johnson wrote that because he clearly wrote her jumping into the water and swimming. And I just feel like, how as a writer do you write both of those scenes
yeah.
with the character of Rey and
Yeah,
not
it's very
understand
awkward.
what you're doing?
Yeah. What?
That confuses me.
Do like between like the time they think about those two parts, they just take like a week long break? But
Yeah.
just
Because it's like
forget about
a
what
lot
they're
of the
doing.
other best moments in that movie have been like confirmed to be suggestions from the cast.
Like Mark Hamill winking at
Mark
3PO.
Hamill winking at 3PO. Even the entire scene where Leia and Luke talked was like they changed. Both those actors, Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill, changed a lot of the lines. He told them to just. I think he was trying to get them to do what he wrote, but then they both wanted to do their own thing, so he just let them do what they wanted to do. So they kind of wrote the scene themselves, as far as I'm aware.
That's cool.
Which is
I'm
why
glad Mark got
that's one
to
of
work
the
with
more
Terry.
beautiful moments in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Because it's them just being themselves for a second.
Then Ryan's like, he's not actually there. So it doesn't mean anything.
Let's
anyway.
have Luke give Leia the dice.
The dice that everyone cares about.
That no one knew existed before this movie.
Yeah.
And that, oh boy, come see Solo to figure out the dice. And you find out that Luke is giving Leia a memento from her dead husband's ex-girlfriend. What a bad thing to give Leia.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot
See,
about that.
Han loved you. What is this shit? What, Luke?
I've never seen this before.
What?
What is this? What is this little writing etched in here? What is that? Oh no.
Oh no.
And
brother.
I think another one of the good moments in that movie is when Hux is standing over unconscious Kylo Ren and pulls out his gun to kill him. It's after Rey and Kylo tug of war Anakin's lightsaber.
Oh, sure.
And it blows up, and
And Hux is
Kylo's
just
knocked
like-
unconscious, and Hux walks in there, he sees him, and he starts pulling out his blaster, and then Kylo wakes up, and he has to shove it back in his holster.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was a suggestion from Domhnall Gleeson. He came to Ryan, and he's like, dude, Hux is doing nothing in this movie. He is worthless, and he's supposed to hate this guy. He should try to kill him.
Yeah.
And Ryan was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I hate the commentary of that movie. He talks about the opening. Yeah, there's a
lot of it
audio
is so
commentary of
bad.
it, and the movie opens, and he's like, I love this scene with Poe pranking Hux. I wanted to open this movie with a Monty Python sketch, he said.
What?
Which, okay, Monty Python has way better sketches than that. Also,
Don't
you
disrespect
don't
him like
open
that.
a Star Wars film with a Monty Python sketch. And he said, because I wanted to let the audience know that we can have fun in this movie. We can laugh in this movie.
Oh my
It's like, dear God, Ryan.
Yeah. Empire Strikes Back we see our heroes at the...
It was one of the
That's
best.
a really
bottom,
low point.
But, there's so
It
many
was one of the
funny
best
moments.
comedies of the century. It
had
honestly
the
was.
best
That movie
humor.
actually has a lot of really good
It
humor
has the
in
best
it.
humor, I
but,
think, of the original trilogy.
You didn't have to
Some
let
of.
them know in the first.
Yeah, and none of that humor is at the expense of the characters or the tension.
No. It's because of
is-
the... We mentioned this earlier. It's because of the character.
Yeah,
it's
it's
funny.
their character personalities clashing that we find funny. None of them are making jokes. They're all at the end of their rope, and they're yelling at each other, and we think it's hysterical, but also understand the tension of the situation. It is a brilliant film. And then he also says, I remember watching Force Awakens, I thought Hux, he was just really funny to me. He came off as such a funny character, so I really wanted to play that up in this film. I'm like, you thought Hux was funny?
He
The
was,
funniest-
crying when he
The
killed millions of
funniest,
people.
the funniest scene with him
tears
is
of
his
joy.
monologue where he's shouting as Starkiller fires. But it's funny because it's overacted.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous how into this he's getting.
It's so fun.
He's not a funny character.
It's not
He's
funny.
actually kind of intimidating for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Where were we? Jana.
We're back to Jana again.
Jana. So then they're like, yeah, the choppy waves. Can't do it. Gonna have to wait till, dawn or dark to go there?
Sure.
And they're like, we don't have that much time. Because remember, Palpatine is invading the galaxy in 16 hours.
How many hours are left?
At the start of the film.
I kept forgetting that was a plot point. In fact, to this day, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And
Because they never mentioned it in the film.
they
really.
hyperspace so many places.
So fast.
The plot of the film is literally impossible because of that. Because hyperspace travel takes time. We have established that in Star Wars.
You're not in a time void.
And I can-
as you're traveling.
guarantee you that there are some like locations they travel to in this movie that are like at opposite ends of the galaxy. I know in Last Jedi, Canto Bight and Crate are literally top and bottom of the galaxy. Like, respectively.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, like they're complete opposite ends.
Sheesh.
I would take
That's how
a
slow
long-
that chase was.
But there's a time frame in that movie too. Guess what it is?
12 hours?
18 hours.
Why is it like under 24 hours? Why?
I don't get it. I don't get it. This entire trilogy takes place in just 1 year.
A year? Are you kidding?
And the first two movies take place in 2 days. And this movie takes place in 1 day.
2 days?
Force Awakens is like 1 day. I mean, I guess we don't know for sure the time, because Force Awakens doesn't give us a time frame.
No.
But Last Jedi gives us a time frame, and Last Jedi picks up like immediately where Force Awakens ended. So, pretty much like a week at most, I think we can give it, or like 2 weeks for the first two movies.
2 weeks.
So
Basically,
long.
2 weeks for Force Awakens, 1 day for Last Jedi, a year in between, and 1 day for Rise of Skywalker.
That's all it takes to destroy
Whereas
a franchise.
A New Hope is easily like a week, probably.
Yeah.
2 weeks. And then there's, I believe, what is it? It's like a year or two between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. And then Empire Strikes Back could be like 2 months in that movie. It's not a clear time frame.
No, it's not. I always thought it was like a good amount of time. Like,
yeah, I think there's a good implication that there's a lot of time spent on Dagobah and a lot of time spent in Cloud City.
Yeah.
Especially because I think those aren't all completely happening at the same time. I think because they don't have hyperspace when they are going to Cloud City, and they're not in the Bespin system. So they might have been like, that's either a plot hole or they were subspacing there for like a month in the dead of space, just
trolling,
low light travel.
Yeah.
Anywho,
where are we at?
Jana.
Oh, we had Jana.
So she's like, no, and then Poe
so-
walks away, and Rey's like, you idiot, Leia hates you.
Yeah, you're not Leia.
You drug dealer,
And it's
stupid.
It's like, yeah,
And he walks away and
he is
cries.
not in fact Leia, because Leia's really dumb in this trilogy.
Yeah, he's doing a better
Unfortunately,
job.
Poe at every turn has made good decisions, and he keeps getting kicked into the dirt for it.
And he believes it too. He makes all these sad faces.
Yeah, he's like, I am a bad person.
Yeah.
I am
No.
making mistakes. Okay.
I should really fix my Wait, what have I done wrong?
His arc in Last Jedi is learning to not question authority
Oh, that's a great
and
message.
retreat from battle instead of fighting. That is literally his arc. It's insane. People think that arc is good.
No.
So Poe walks away all sad, and
And
then,
Finn yells at him too. He's
and
like, you
then-
don't know what Rey's going through. And Poe's like, and you do?
Everyone's like,
It's like, aha, more force sensitivity, force shadowing that won't be paid off.
oh, is that Force
Yeah,
sensitivity?
because he's force sensitive, so he knows what Rey's going through.
Sure.
That's what I got from it. It's stupid.
Oh, I
but
didn't
that's what
get
I
that.
thought
she's
was
going
happening.
through something. Big quotation.
So, and then suddenly they're like, "Where's Rey?"
This is after I believe Finn and
Oh yeah, Finn and Jana have a chat in the Falcon
and it's
Yeah.
like, hey,
because
you're
they're
an
all,
ex-stormtrooper
yeah,
too.
they're trying
Hey,
to fix
me
the
too.
Falcon.
There's more of me.
And then she's like,
Whoa.
our entire battalion threw down our weapons at the same time instead of shooting civilians.
Yep. Wow.
It's like,
They all
wow,
broke code at the same time.
all of you. May refer to you to the Force Awakens line where Hux says, my men are expertly trained, programmed from birth.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they're not. Even that movie contradicts that. They kidnap them when they're like children and then program them.
Yeah. They're child slaves.
Well, maybe Huxes are special. No, they're not.
But anyway, so
But-
yeah,
and
they're
also-
trying to fix.
and also,
They're fixing the landing gear.
like
right?
like
That's
it's the
for
kind
whatever
of
reason.
the kind of maybe cool thing where like, oh, Finn's force sensitive, that's why he was able to resist and break out of the coating. But an entire battalion did it without force sensitivity.
Well, here's something weird about the scene. She says he asks why they did it, and she says we all just felt something. It just felt wrong, and then he's like, I felt that too.
Oh no!
It's like whoa. They're all force sensitive? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, they go.
Because that's insane.
No.
Remember when force sensitivity was like special?
We didn't hand it out to every bozo that went on the screen.
Like, I mean, and to be clear, I'm not saying Last Jedi actually did something interesting at the end, because people keep saying Last Jedi democratized the Force finally. It's no longer bound to special lineage and bloodline. It's like, whoa. It never was.
Yeah.
This saga just happens to be following a family that we like. It's a family-based saga. It's like The Godfather. You don't have to be a family to be a special mafia person in that universe, but we just happen to follow that family, because that's what the damn story's about. But the prequels, everyone in the Jedi Order does not have a special bloodline. They're just schmucks who have force powers,
And then
so they're in the Order.
Right, and I distinctly remember like Clone Wars episodes where the Jedi show up at
Yeah.
random people's houses. And
Yeah,
it's like,
it has literally
We're
never
gonna take
been
your
about
baby.
bloodlines. It has been, if your parents were force sensitive, then yes, there is a likelihood you will be too. It's like being an athlete. It's not about bloodline, but if both your parents are like super healthy Olympians, yeah, you're gonna be more likely to be as well. But you would also still need to train the heck out of your body to be one, and it's still possible that you just won't have those genes at all. And it's possible if you're born to two bozos who are super fat that you'll also be a crazy Olympian person. It's possible. That's how the Force works. Damn you, movies.
But genetics are not everything.
Yeah.
Like, not even close. But being an Olympian and being athletic is something that you can work to achieve. You don't work to achieve being force sensitive. It's something you are born with.
Well, yeah, you're born with force sensitivity, but you work to be a Jedi.
you said force sensitivity is like a genetic. It's like a
Yeah,
gene.
the force sensitivity is the gene. The skill is the
But the difference is you
Yeah.
can be an Olympian and not have like the athlete gene.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it. That's all I was trying to say. It's not
Well,
a
it
perfect.
was-
it's
it
not
was
a- it's-
nice-
yeah,
it
you're
was-
right. It's
wasn't
not a perfect analogy.
but it was
But-
nice. It was nice.
It hit the.
Satisfied my
So
analogy urge.
then they're like, satisfied your analogy urge?
Yep.
So then they're like, wait, where's Rey? And then they find that she took the freaking
They
skimmer
look over the hill and there's like, and then Ray's just like going up the tsunami.
going up freaking 600-foot waves just fine.
Just chill. Just
And-
How do you
just
navigate
motorboat.
that?
And also, that boat works weird.
Go forward.
It's got like a flappy wing thing
yeah.
that
No,
like
that-
you lift
yeah,
up and flap down. And
No, that's how real boats
is it really?
work. Yeah, some boats work
All
like
right.
that.
Well,
Especially
just to show you,
in the
I live
Pacific
in
Islands.
America in 2020 now.
You've seen Moana.
And
They have those.
I've seen Moana, and I have been exposed to plenty of seafaring things, and I didn't freaking know there was a boat that worked like that. And Rey, who lived on a desert for her whole life, without internet most likely, without like the same kind of
Movies.
internet we have without movies, freaking navigating 600-foot waves in this skimmer. I would die.
Because you're not a Mary Sue.
That is very true.
Yep.
You could be a Gary Stew.
And I am not.
Okay.
I mean,
Thank God for that.
Gary's gonna have a lot of stew. If you're... Well, next bit.
Okay.
So yeah, Ray's
Cut that.
Whoa.
It's gonna be a lot of yeah.
Whoa,
So
whoa,
we're
whoa,
on
whoa.
the. So she makes it against all odds. She's just like sailing over the.
Yeah, she just suddenly gets in the Death Star. Then she's climbing about, doing some leaping stuff, which that's actually fine. she grew up scavenging Star Destroyers and
She
leaping
seems
about
at
in those.
home, like-
So that was okay. Then she walks through some hallways and there's stormtrooper armor laying about. It's like, okay, that's still here. Again, it's just like no one took any of this stuff. It's not broken down at all. Where are the skeletons? Where's the... And...
Yeah, like all the armor is just left piled up.
Mm-hmm. And then she gets to the throne room. The glass is still intact on the window, which is, I'm gonna say, literally impossible.
No.
I
Yeah.
guess, like,
That's not
with
true.
extreme luck, I guess
That's impossible.
it could be possible, but like,
I mean, that'd be like
as
super thick.
far
plexiglass
as
or
I'm
whatever.
aware, not possible.
Maybe he had made some flex tape little fixes or.
Yo, Flex tape. I saw this Death Star in action.
Now it's fully operational.
And so then she just like walks to a side room
This is Temple Gandalf.
that was
Is it left or right?
left, and it just this room was there the whole time apparently.
We just did
Definitely was
pan
not in
over
the original
in the
trilogy,
OG.
but then she just feels called to walk in there. The doors open, still
because there's
works
still power
after all this time.
magic.
Wait, here's something. Do you think this was built before the wreckage or after? Because the dagger was built after the wreckage, pointing to where it is.
Oh, how would you build that into the... That would be
Wreckage.
dumb.
Yeah.
And
So
this
was
is
there
supposed
before.
to be the Emperor's Wayfinder.
Yeah.
I believe it's called. I'm not sure. I know the
Sure.
leaks refer to it as that, which makes me think the script refers to it as that.
Yeah.
Which
would make sense. You have two, one for the master.
Yeah. Which, here's another thing. Why wouldn't Anakin's Force Ghost be like, hey, Luke,
Hey.
you're looking for... I know you're looking for my Wayfinder. It's in a pedestal on Mustafar. But also, Emperor's Wayfinder, it's in a room off to the side of the throne room. That's still intact, by the way. Oh, also, Palpatine is alive. We need to go kill him. Like, Force Ghosts can talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've established that.
And they can make lightning.
And now they can
Physically interact with the world.
with the real world, which is dumb.
But Lucas, Obi-Wan said alone.
Don't do it! No, I will refrain from doing
Oops, I
it.
said your
because That's
name.
the dumbest thing.
We've established that my name can... All our names can be said.
That's what we said.
We've done this multiple times. We did 3 podcasts before this.
It's okay. It's alright. You had a long day, bud.
Oh God, he's had a long day.
Oh boy. It's alright, bud.
Okay.
It's a safe
There.
place, circle of love and trust.
Okay,
Give him-
stop rubbing my muscles.
Give him what? They're nice.
Oh.
Give him a wrestling ring corner rub down. Like, you got this, buddy.
We're gonna kick his butt.
You gotta get this guy. You gotta get this guy.
Woo, woo, let's go.
Ding ding ding!
Ding, ding.
Podcasting! The most aggressive sport in all sports.
In one corner we have B cubed, and in the other, Rise of Skywalker.
Who will win?
Oh, and B cubed comes in with another left hook.
Another right hook. It's almost like it's a one-sided debate.
The Rise of Skywalker is knocked out of the ring.
I don't care what universe you're from. That's gotta hurt.
So, I mean, these MacGuffins in this film, they didn't even think to explain
So
them.
many MacGuffins. They're not explained, and the entire post Palpatine's introduction, everything from there to going to Exegol is just chasing after ways to get to Exegol.
Yeah.
That's the entire movie.
Yep.
And that's
It's like-
fine. That would be okay if you chose that as the plot of your film, but you have to string through a worthwhile story on the way. Things have to actually happen while they're trying to get to Exegol, and stuff doesn't really happen.
Okay, so like just with using sequel Star Wars films, like they're adding chapters upon chapters into the sources about the word MacGuffin. Like the source is growing by chapters because of these films. just growing rapidly.
TV Tropes has a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, I can't wait for the cinema sins. Whoa. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
I don't know. Have you seen any of their recent videos?
They've gone downhill.
They
Last Jedi was
suck
They
right
do?
now. They're really bad.
Are they like not funny or like
They're
just not singing?
I mean,
They're
they're
trying
not
too hard
funny.
to be funny.
They're not funny. They're getting information wrong. They miss tons of things, and yeah, sometimes they'll like say something's a problem when it's definitely not.
yeah,
Like,
I think
just
I remember
for
that.
a joke.
Okay.
And then at the end of the video, they're always like, "Remember, this is just entertainment. You can't criticize us because we're just being funny. If we're being funny, that means you can't criticize us. If it's a joke, and it's all a joke." Except when it's not. Except when we're definitely making like actual criticism. Except it's definitely a joke, by the way. So
And then
don't
when I
criticize us.
criticize your criticisms, I'm
It's
joking.
just a joke, so don't criticize.
Don't
yep,
criticize
yep.
my
You can
criticism.
throw it right back at them. That's why that doesn't work.
I'll play by your hand.
So then she goes and she finds another holocron. I mean Wayfinder. Whoops.
Whoops.
And then suddenly, Ray, a dark Ray, shows up with
Scissor saber.
with a scissor saber and fights, and then like locks it up
incredibly
to.
awkward
She like flips it up
fight.
during the fight to lock Rey's saber in between her sabers, which is a weird move, and I don't think would work.
Yeah, I
And because they're like side to side, it's just really awkward.
Yeah,
and you can't tell what's
Because also,
happening.
okay, so there's this thing in combat when you're in a lock. There's like dozens of ways to unlock. Because your only weapon isn't the lightsaber. You
Can't
have hands
punch,
and
bite.
legs. You have an entire body
Yep.
to like punch, grab, bite, jab, whatever.
I mean,
That's what Evil Ray did. She bit.
yeah, Evil Ray is like, and she has shark teeth. It's like, what?
it looks so bad.
It looked really bad.
Daisy Ridley can never be bad.
What a weird choice that was.
Yeah.
And like, it's just Rey. Like, it's just Rey
In, like-
in dark clothes, and then also shark teeth.
No like makeup. No like
Yeah,
dark
no
makeup.
dark makeup, no Sith eyes.
No even like voice changing.
like.
It should have been like Kylo, kind of like in Dagobah when Luke fights Darth, and then it's Darth Vader, and then it's himself.
Yeah, I mean,
they
they were.
had Kylo
He
Ren
was
in there.
clearly evoking that.
Yeah.
So might as well have done that.
It could have been. She could have had like a cool helmet on, and then like the helmet gets open to reveal, oh, that's Rey. This is a vision of the future Rey that might happen.
That'd have been
But
cool.
I mean, still, the film doesn't even pay off this vision. Like,
no.
this means nothing.
It's there for more forced tension.
Well, yeah, even we have earlier
Forced
that forced tension. We have earlier this bit where Rey's like, I saw a vision of myself as Empress on the throne.
Do we get to see that vision?
So, in the, I did not see that.
is that in
and you
Fortnite?
did not. I
Is
remember
that in Fortnite too? Like,
I remember we talked about
That's
it, and
in
we were like,
Minecraft.
we did not see that. But I have seen a screen grab of it. It is like a literal frame, blink and you miss it thing.
okay.
Is it when Kylo Ren is touching like Darth Vader's helmet?
It
and
might
she's
be. I don't know
straining?
where
There's,
it
like,
is,
some-
but she's having a vision at some point, and there is a very, very brief frame shot of her sitting on the Palpy throne at the end.
Star Wars creators, when we said we want this to be a visionary series, we didn't mean this.
So, then she walks out of the room. She just kind of like, doesn't she just like back out?
I think she gets like kicked out
Fight's
or something.
over.
Yeah, I don't know.
And she's got the holocron. And then Kylo Ren is just there.
He's monkey.
No, she
chaining.
drops the holocron because I remember there's kind of this awkward shot where we see his hand grab the holocron, and he's kind of a tall boy, so he'd have
Oh.
to bend over really awkwardly. That's how I remember the shot because it just follows his hand. It's like, what does the rest of him look like? And he like grabbed it so harshly. I was like, is that his foot? It's like he's stepping on it.
Good.
Well, yeah, and we establish moments later that you can crush these with ease.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Surprised he didn't do that.
Or
It's
if you
because they
have,
switched
like-
out the props in between shots to a weaker one later. So, yeah, she backs out. Kylo Ren is just there. Don't know how Poe and Finn and Janna didn't see his ship arriving and be like, "Hey, Kylo Ren is here."
I mean, do they have? They,
I mean,
they
Finn
don't
and
have
Janna come out.
telecommunications at this point, do they?
To
With
the-
Rey, for some reason.
I don't even know.
They didn't call Rey like, "Hey, why'd you leave?" But no, the storm's too crazy and like interference with the Death Star.
I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't have Bluetooth, but
For me, the worst part is just Kylo is somehow there. I don't know
he's
how.
just here.
He's there. Okay.
How did he even know to get here? There might genuinely be a reason, but I don't
think
remember.
it's like, he knew where the other Wayfinder was
They were
because
on-
because he had the dagger before, and he knew to go to
Yes.
Endor. But then it's a planet, not just
Sure,
like
whatever.
it's not like a preloaded area.
And by the way, like this isn't actually Endor. This is a different planet or moon in the Endor system. Not Endor.
because
Just so you know, we're not ripping off Return of the Jedi. Even though you have a perfectly reasonable plot reason for this to actually be on Endor.
Because
We're just on boring,
so like
dull,
if you have a moon
stupid
of a
moon.
planet blow up, or like if that happened and it didn't completely get destroyed, would the last radius go to A, the planet it was orbiting, or B, an entirely different planet that had no gravitational
I think it's
relationship to?
another moon. I think this is another moon
That we didn't know
So
about?
there was the forest moon of Endor, and this is apparently the ocean moon of Endor.
What?
So
What?
I guess they were right next to each other.
I'm like
And
that.
this landed on the
that
other one.
moon is really big.
Yeah, no, it's
That's a massive moon. Cause like this was just like this is a planet-sized moon.
The Death Star is the size of a moon.
Yeah. So like
that's no moon.
It's a space station.
it just don't work.
So then Kylo Ren spouts some nonsense. I don't even remember what he says.
It's inconsequential.
For me, it's awkward when he keeps reaching his hand out. It's like, what's she gonna do? Walk over and grab your hand, and then what?
Yeah, they're gonna prance
You're just
off
gonna
and become
stand
emperor
there?
and
I
empress.
did want to take your hand. Ben's hand.
fuck off. Ben's hand. You never knew Ben.
You never knew him.
And it's like you're like
You never met him.
I saw him inside you, kind of like Luke.
And also, they're trying to mirror the OT thing with Vader and Anakin being different people, which you have not earned that at all. It was Ben Solo that slaughtered the students at Luke's temple because, oh no, my uncle tried to murder me, so let me just go
Let's
kill
all
of my friends. Which
That's how kids work.
that's what Last Jedi said happened. Let me tell you about a recent comic that just came out.
Oh,
Like,
no.
Straight up, like 4 days ago.
Oh no.
It's called The Rise of Kylo Ren, Issue 1.
Oh.
Deals with
I mean, it's gonna
Luke
be
tries
issue-
to kill them, and then he force pushes the hut in that awful shot from Last Jedi. What was that shot? Do you remember that shot where he force pushes the hut apart? It's such a weird shot.
It's a weird shot, and the lighting in that it looks like something out of the lighthouse with Luke. His eyes are like
yeah.
bulging in his beard.
It does
It's
look
terrible.
like
Yeah. It's like, why do you light a
Don't
scene?
you like my lobster?
My lobster? I've seen it.
I've seen you liking it.
Tell me you like my lobster!
Hark!
And then he freaking Bilbo Baggins, I'm not here to rob you thing. Goes all that on him, on Robert Pattinson, and then at the end he's just like, alright, you win. I like your lobster. I love that scene.
Yeah.
That scene was awesome. That was the best scene in the movie, start
Totally.
to finish.
Dude,
Yeah,
he has
definitely.
an entire rage monologue.
It lasts so long.
Going. I was like, Willem Dafoe, take a breath, boy.
He doesn't blink either, bro.
It was so long.
Death stare. Remind me of that shot.
Then he was like, Poseidon, blood,
You are
take
the
it
sea.
into the depths.
You'll die and be the wenches of hell and burger.
So then, Kylo Ren blasts the hut, and then he walks out to see there's a mysterious red mist tornado over the temple that obliterates it and kills everyone inside. And he's like, oh no, my friends! They're all dead! And it's just another line in this concentrated effort to retroactively turn Kylo Ren into a Goodman. when he's never been a good man.
Nope.
He's always been a bad man.
There's been no conflict with it.
He has always
Like,
been a bad guy in
the-
this story.
The only maybe conflict was when he killed Han,
and when he chose not to kill Leia in Last Jedi, which did not come back. That was not paid off.
No.
He never even gets to know that Leia didn't die. Like, that movie, he never learns that he did not, in fact, kill her. Like, the only acknowledgement we have that he even knows she's alive is in this movie in a little bit when she calls to him. That's the first time.
Yeah, and he's like, and he breaks down.
When they're storming Crate and they have to go in and find people, doesn't he think...
I don't think he sees her.
He doesn't see
Or
her.
feel her.
He doesn't?
He picks up the dice, and then it disappears in his hand, because for some reason they're still there. And corporeal after Luke dies, and then he picks them up, and then they disappear, and he has a face, and we don't know what the face means, because no one knows what they're reacting to with those damn dice. No one knows what that means.
I don't think even the actors knew.
No.
Just like...
It's like, oh, here's a prop. Look at that. Act.
It means something to your character.
And then he looks up and, force Skypes and sees Rey closing the ramp of the Falcon on his face.
Maybe that's why he's so shocked now when he's fighting Rey, and Leia's like, man!
He's like, you're alive, Mom?
Oh my gosh!
He couldn't feel her.
Rey... Wait, how does Rey... Does Rey, just stab him?
In this fight, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh no!
Yeah, so... He crushes the holocron, she gets really angry, they start fighting. She, jumps down a hole really funnily, and then he jumps after her, and it's like, oh! And then in the next shot, they're just out in the sea.
They're in the next set piece in our great saga.
They're just on this weird part of the Death Star that has submerged underwater.
During the trailers, I thought it was like a dope seawall. Of some cool colony.
It did look like that.
I thought, I'm like, that's a cool seawall. I don't know why you're there. That's cool.
But no, it's the Death Star. No. It's just a wall that's raised and above the rest of the water.
Maybe it's like, so you know, like the Death Star Lego set? You know how, if you tilt it on its side, it has those rings around it? It kind of looks like that.
It could be like the walls of the trench run, but it's
just
weird that that's there.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Not impossible. The more impossible thing is how they're just suddenly there. They were inside the throne room.
The more impossible than that, Finn is suddenly there.
Finn is suddenly there, and it's like, Rey!
So
and then she force pushes him.
Why did you have him show up?
To stay away, and that's it. Yeah. He doesn't keep running after her. That's his entire purpose in this movie. He's worthless in this film. He's possibly more worthless than he is in Last Jedi.
Didn't even get... was there... I'm forgetting, the last, couple scenes of the film. Was there a ceremony in this film?
There was, a celebration at the end. Everyone lands after the fight, and they're like, oh, we won, hugs.
I think I was,
hugs and kisses all around. Yeah. I was literally, making the... move on. Film motion.
Move along.
Because that was a really long sequence. At least it felt like it. They just kept going. Celebration shot. Celebration shot. Celebration shot. I get it. You won. Ridiculously. So yeah, they're fighting. They do some dumb force jumps that look way worse than the prequels.
They look bad.
You agree with me, right?
It's because the fighting in the scene is so heavy, even the jumping.
They're doing these big baseball bat swings at each other's blades.
Dude, the way that they fight each other is like how me and Lucas fought each other when we were 13.
With Nerf swords.
We're aiming for each other's swords so we don't actually hurt each other.
Yeah. And they're taking these huge swings and bouncing off each other's blade. And
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's a part where they towards the end there would be 5-second pauses between each swing.
Yeah, they would swing, hit, and then back off, and talk, and then swing and hit.
There was a point where Rey kind of shook her hand a little bit. And I was like, I wonder if in the training, on the set, Kylo hit her with his plastic
prop. I was wondering what happened there. I was like, if your hand hurts, if your hand was hit by something, it's gone. What were you hit by the handle of his blade? How did he hit you with his hit? I don't know what happened there.
So
I think it was
did
just
the
a bad
cross
take.
guard slam your pinky finger? What happened?
How do you keep a take like
And she's
that?
like, ow, my hand. And I'm like, I remember being there. It was just like, wait, did his lightsaber hit you?
Or it's like,
is it burned or gone?
Is it too jarring for your hands or something? Like hitting the lightsaber hard?
I mean, she's beating her. She keeps force jumping away. And again, it looks worse than the prequels somehow. I don't know how, but it looks worse.
I think it's because like prequels, a lot of times there's some like a flip involved potentially, or like
yeah, they hide
a graceful landing. Whereas with this, it's just like, whoop.
Usually in darker lighting too, I think.
It's so like the way that they force jump, they don't even do a rigging jump. It's either they do a really bad rigging jump, or they do the actor jumps and then they do a CG, and then they replace the CG character as they jump.
Yeah.
Which can work if you do it right, but they didn't.
I remember there's this great part of the Return of the King behind the scenes or special features disc where they're talking about
Appendices.
this, the appendices, where Sam is fighting Shelob, and there's this bit where he like goes up a wall and then he rolls down it, and at some point in there he's CG, and there's this guy, I think he was like the stunt coordinator, talking about how amazing the work the visual effects artists did in replacing him at some, because like halfway through the shot, Sean Astin lands on a pad or whatever, and then they keep the shot going into green screen and have a fake CG Sam keep rolling or something like that. Maybe it's the other way around. And the stunt coordinator guy is like, I don't know where my Sam ends and their Sam begins. And it's like, it's true. In the movie, you watch it, you can't tell what is real and what's not because it all looks real.
Those films have beautiful visuals.
The CG holds up in those movies.
Also,
because they tried.
Like some of the things is like the reason the CG holds up so well is because they didn't make everything CG. It was helped by miniatures and by actual practical effects to aid it.
Matte paintings,
like
miniatures.
They do so much to
mix it.
It's
and also if you have like this movie like 60% or like say like 90% of it is CGI, you're gonna have a lot of guys having to do a lot of work in a very limited time. Whereas like Lord of the Rings, you have like more individual
and they spent
projects.
longer making those movies too.
Right? Yeah. Which is like what you should do. Make it good. We don't care when it comes out.
We'll wait. Please.
So, yes, and then Rey is actually like losing and getting exhausted from the fight. Kylo's beating her down.
Rey's second struggle.
Yeah, and then Kylo goes in for a killing blow for some reason because I still don't know what his motivation is because he said he wasn't trying to kill her.
Nope.
Goes for, I think there may have been a point where he said, but I will if I have to. I don't remember. So I guess he has to now. Good script writing, covering your bases. I don't want to kill you, but I will if I have to. So when I do try to kill you, it just means that I had to.
Right.
But every time I don't, it means I don't want to kill you.
Because disarming your opponent isn't a thing.
So he goes for a killing blow, and then at some point during this, we have Leia.
Cuts to Leia.
It cuts to Leia, just the back of her, and it looks really awkward, and she's being like carried away by someone, and like she's limping, and then we turn to Maz Kanata, who is just in this movie for no reason.
No, yeah, she's just at the base.
She's there to say lines Leia can't say because we don't have the voice acting for it. Yeah. So she goes, Leia knows what she has to do. Or something like that. And it's
will say, was Maz a practical effect?
No.
She wasn't?
No, CG.
I thought she looked practical.
Every movie.
No, she's very CG.
I thought she looked terrible in this movie. She looked way better in Force Awakens.
Yeah, she did. Interesting. Partially because of the context she was in was built for her. And the one she's in now...
She's just standing around in a jungle base.
Yeah, she's standing around in a jungle base where there's always humans or like real aliens. Like prosthetic aliens. And then there's you in a brightly lit room with a bunch of real things Doesn't fit my voice. Sorry.
So then Leia is just like sitting on her bed for some reason.
And the reason R2 didn't come with our heroes to like, do
so he can
cool
be
stuff.
here to be sad when Leia dies.
Right.
And then Leia reaches out her hand and she's like, Ben. And then she falls over dead. And Kylo...
Really, really awkward.
Kylo hears this and he's like, and then drops his saber and Rey takes it and stabs him. Wow. What a
turn.
what a dishonorable move that was. Like, wow, he stopped his killing blow and
like,
dropped his weapon. You're like, okay, my turn. Bam, you're dead. And then moments later, she feels Leia, and she's like, "Oh shoot! Oh wait, I need to heal you." And then she freaking heals him.
So why'd you stab him in the first place?
So that
when you're writing this, what do you think? You're like, okay, my character now wants to stab him. You write that in the script. Like, what is your thought behind that? And then she's like, oh, now I'll heal him. It doesn't make much sense.
Because within the 3 seconds between me stabbing and wanting to heal him, something happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then moving on,
So, I mean, again, like, there is a strong pattern of characters dying from exhaustion in these movies.
Yeah.
Which is so unbelievably lame, especially as ends to such heroic, powerful
and it's all the big
characters.
heroes,
It's
yeah.
almost ironic.
Han escaped it. He got stabbed. But Luke dies of exhaustion. Leia dies of exhaustion. At the end of this film, Kylo dies of exhaustion.
Because he's not a Mary Sue.
I feel like there's one other.
Gary Stu.
I feel like there's one other. Oh, I have talked to more than one person now who thought Rose died in Last Jedi. And I'm like, oh, now that I think about it, I don't blame you. Because there's a trend of people just saying one last thing and then falling over from exhaustion and being dead.
Yeah.
And she kisses Finn and then just falls over unconscious. And there's one throwaway shot of Finn dragging her into the base. And that's it.
And then she
There's
shows
no reason
up.
to actually believe she's alive.
She shows up
Yeah.
twice in this film?
Basically.
Yeah.
She has pretty much no part. Which is fine, because what can you do with that character?
Nothing
You
at
have-
this point.
You would actually, like, yeah, and also, like, you have all these other characters that you need to actually develop from the nothing that they are from the last two movies.
Like, in these
Yeah, at the
three-
same time, you're bringing in more characters.
In these 3 films, I think Star Wars is trying to rival the cast of Endgame. And they're coming pretty close.
And they also try to rival the end of Endgame. With I am inevitable,
I am
Iron Man, I am all the Sith, I am all the Jedi.
Yes, they do. Hello, formulas.
Yay!
And like there are people who are like, there's like this whole Kelly Marie Tran deserved better, which yeah, she did.
She seems like a sweet
She
person.
got a bad character. But there's also like people saying, JJ, you're a horrible person, and they're like absolutely insane Last Jedi defenders who are like, Rose is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. She's amazing. And you just did this to appease the haters and harassers and racists and sexists. It's like, no. She's a bad character, and JJ didn't know what to do with her, so he wrote her out of the film. Because he, like, Finn claps her on the shoulder. He's like, you want to come with us? And she's like, no, I have paperwork to do. And they just move on.
It's like, yep.
And then she's there at the end, the fight.
Yeah. For a little bit. And then she's like, oh, I
So
got
Rey stabs Kylo. And then, again, we've established you transfer your life force to heal these wounds. And this was like a lethal wound.
Yeah.
Or at least
Maybe it's because
really
her
tough
force
wound.
died.
Like,
But she's fine. No problem whatsoever
oh
on
yeah,
her part.
she's not even like
Oh,
breaking a
man.
sweat.
in healing
and
this.
he heals her at the end, and he dies.
Yeah. Which you could argue, oh, he was near death, and so was she.
No, he
so
wasn't.
he transferred what little he had left to completely restore her.
And then how does this whole life
but it's like,
force...
all right, sure.
Okay, boomer.
Sure, not. I don't think you can say for sure that the movie is saying that.
And also because this life force thing is a very undefined, nebulous thing.
Yeah.
That, like, you can just call upon to whatever whim
Is
you
it
want.
like? Yeah. How is it
Like-
like the length of the telomeres in your body? Like how much is left of you? What is it? Does it shorten your lifespan? How does this work? Is it stamina?
There's no rules.
Is it?
Has a force ability ever been necessary for moving a plot? Any of the previous films? Like this essential.
Luke uses the Force to blow up the Death Star.
Right.
And I would say that was pretty essential because the computers couldn't make the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was something that made sense. It was like how the Force had been built up so far.
Although theoretically the computers could have made the shot, they just might have had to try a few more times.
Yeah.
But that said, they didn't have the time to try a few more times because they're about to fire when he makes the shot.
Yeah.
I guess to narrow it down, like, there's definitely never been a Force ability introduced in a film and in that same film used to move the film's plot.
I mean,
To move the film's plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the
At least a
Force
specific
has
ability.
always definitely been a plot device,
Because-
but that's
Yes,
never
but
was
it's
a
never
problem.
it's never been more.
This is a problem
outrageous
because it's
than here.
completely nebulous as to what it can do, and it brings characters back to life. It heals wounds.
yeah,
Which
we're
is
we're
just-
with like being
which-
able to have like force tingle, like spider senses about where you're gonna shoot this plasma
Yeah,
cannon.
that's fine.
It's like
that's like one of the most basic like superpowers ever. Is just like extra senses, and that we've established since the beginning.
But,
the
like-
Force does seem to give you some extra sensory
being able
powers.
to heroes never die mid battle. OP, like OP.
And like in Legends, Force healing was a power, but if I recall correctly, the way it worked was you use it with it needed a lot of training and intense focus, and you could accelerate the body's natural healing process.
Not
so you couldn't regrow limbs, you couldn't heal fatal wounds,
Or
but
revive someone.
or
entirely.
revive someone entirely. But if someone has like a deep cut that won't kill them, but is really really debilitating, you could focus on it really hard, and you can accelerate the body's natural.
or like
healing.
maybe like blindness or something. Like it might help with that.
I don't think so. I wouldn't want. I hope it wouldn't be able to.
My mom got a massage today. I was so heckin' jealous.
Well, now you get a massage.
I know. Thank you, Bryce.
a massage.
And
I'm gonna force massage you.
It's Bryce.
Force massage.
Yeah,
It's like force healing.
yeah.
You know,
It's like force healing therapy. Yeah.
for the final installment, I wouldn't have minded big, force powers, but you need to establish them early on, like super OP force abilities.
they did establish it earlier. When
2
she-
days before.
when
whatever.
she healed the sandworm.
Oh yeah, and
Thing.
Baby Yoda did it in the Mandalorian too.
Yeah, like 2 days before this.
See,
No.
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 no, what?
Please don't add
It's
like
just stupid.
I can't think of something specifically right now, but even like in other universes when they in the final installment, if they add some like a big game changing thing that basically subverts so many other things throughout the series, it just is annoying.
Like they add lightning in Return of the Jedi, and that is not set up. But
Bro, we've never
like-
met Palpatine before.
It's
we've never
not-
met Palpatine before. It doesn't cause a problem in the universe because it's like, oh, he is so powerful, he can shoot lightning out of his fingertips. No one else we've seen can do that.
It's not a resurrection ability, which
Yeah.
in any game show or game show is a very powerful ability. Lightning is cool and great, but that's like your final upgrade type thing.
Qui-Gon's laying on the ground and he's like, and Obi-Wan's like, Master, what do I do? And he's like, it's okay, Obi-Wan, just use Force Heal. He's like, wait, Master, I never learned that. Was that something I could pick up from the books? What? Master, no! And he just
No.
And Yoda's just like, I have one thing last I have to tell you. Force healing. Wait, no.
There is another Skywalker. Also, there's this thing called Force Heal.
And I decided not to use on myself.
Yeah, you could use it on yourself, couldn't
To
you?
be fair, that's another thing. Like,
It's
can
cold.
it stop aging? Could it save
I
you
mean-
from age?
Or if it, because it's probably like a cold fusion thing where like it's like an end, like, oh, you put some of your life force back into yourself to heal yourself. I don't think that's how that would work.
Oh
But-
yeah, considering they're talking about life force transferring, which they don't make clear how that works in this movie at all.
And if you know, like that, if like you have to take life force from something, like why isn't that a big plot point for like an entire show? Like the villain is hundreds of years old and has like a life force farm of people.
Yeah, you could have a Sith figure out a way to heal himself by taking the life force from other people.
And I'm like, maybe that's how Palpatine has been living this whole time. But like,
Maybe.
No, don't you remember?
No.
Pippin says, cloning, dark science, secrets only the Sith knew, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
He's
what-
got all the
no,
throwaway
cloning.
lines.
Huh? Are you saying cloning is...
A Sith
I think the way I interpreted that line is that it's cloning, comma, dark science, comma, or secrets only the Sith knew. But plenty of people have been like, is he saying cloning is a Sith art? Because it ain't.
No.
And yeah, it's not.
The Kaminoans
Kaminoans.
are all Sith lords. Lama Su.
Darth
like
Tanwi.
Yeah. Just from a screenwriting perspective, though, it just confuses me why you would add in this ability, because your plot doesn't need it. It's like you add this ability, and then you have to make your plot...
It's true, no one had to die.
No. Why
They
make a
didn't-
plot that calls for this ability?
You're fixing your
You
own
don't have
script by
to.
the problems you've made.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like an endless cycle. I think it's just because JJ likes to, like, there are constantly hooks in each scene. Each scene begins or ends with, like, a hook. And it's like, oh, what's going to happen next? And we figure out, we as an audience are led on by this thing. It's like, oh, Kylo's going to die. And then we learn 5 seconds later, oh, he's not.
And then
I feel like the whole movie is like that.
And then 20 minutes later, he does.
Yeah.
Because we thought Rey died, but then
If you get chucked down a bottomless pit, apparently you can survive that. The Emperor does. Kylo does. Darth Maul does.
Yeah!
Pits mean nothing, I guess.
Maul, I'm most impressed about because he was cut in half.
He was cut in half,
The
too.
rest of them,
He was cleft in twain.
Anyway,
the
Kylo, also in this scene, Adam Driver makes he really squishes his face in one moment. Like, his face is so squished. I just remember that. Like, he has this big frown and he's like, And then Rey reaches down and touches him and heals his little wound.
Kyle always looks stupid.
Kind of does.
No,
not
Hot
always.
take. Adam Driver is not a conventionally attractive man. He
Yeah.
has a very weird face.
there's plenty of like conventionally attractive people. I think like it's more attractive to be unconventionally attractive because that's unique.
Maybe
Right.
that's why there's so many people who are
Unconventional.
rabid fans of Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
He does. He is a good casting choice to be Harrison Ford's son, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can see the resemblance. Speaking of Harrison Ford, he's in this movie, but I think that's after. We have a scene before that.
Yeah, so
Rey jumps in Kylo Ren's ship and
first she heals him.
She heals him and
and
then-
he just kind of looks at her, and then he like breathes, sigh of relief. He's like, "Oh, thanks, that was nice."
and then she stabs him again.
No. Take that, sucker!
Oh. Shake.
No, then she's like, she references something from earlier in the movie where Kylo's like, "You will take my hand eventually," or something. And she's like, "I did want to take your hand. Ben's hand." And we already covered this. She doesn't know Ben. She never did. Every single instance they have ever been in the same room together, Kylo has done something terrible. Like,
I mean, okay, I will like defend the thought behind this.
It's not an
It's
overtly
supposed
bad
to be,
line.
It's supposed to be like this, Luke and
Well,
Vader.
yeah,
But it's
Vader's
not
only
built up
blown
it
well.
doesn't work because Vader was Luke's dad. Spoilers. And
What?
and he
Lucas, I've only seen the sequel trilogy because I'm a stupid, brainless person growing up with this trilogy.
ouch.
I'm gonna love it someday. When
ouch.
Sorry, that was rude.
He
Woo.
he Luke Skywalker is Luke Skywalker. Like his defining trait is that he like he's always trying to help his friends. And
Yeah, Rey. What is Rey?
Rey
like,
doesn't have a defining trait.
Yeah, she
Her
really
defining trait is that she's perfect. I can't think of a single character trait.
I mean, she's persistent.
Like, what
With-
trait drives her actions? The plot drives her actions. Luke Skywalker does everything he does because he wants to help people,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, like, no, I don't even know what Rey's motivations. Because at first it was to find her parents, and then that gets
Yeah, in Force
shut
Awakens,
down.
she wanted to stay on Jakku for her parents to come back, and then she had to escape because they were being attacked by the First Order. But then she wanted to go back, but she got drug along with Han Solo. But she was like, "I'll go back in a little bit." And then Maz gave her a pep talk and made her realize my parents are never coming back. Okay, moving on with my life.
I don't care about my parents.
And I don't care about my
But the
parents. And then
fans.
Last Jedi, Rian Johnson mixed up what the fans wanted to know, which was who her parents were, because that would explain her absurd power level, or at least start explaining it.
It's funny how Ryan was more concerned about the fan theories than the so-called man-baby fanboys with fan theories.
He seriously was very concerned with making a meta story that was saying, screw you fans for your theories, as opposed to actually making a sequel to The Force Awakens.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in that movie, it's Rey suddenly wants to know who her parents were for some reason, as if she had no arc in the first movie, and as if she has any reason to believe her parents were special. She has no reason to think that. She never says that.
Does she think that her parents were special?
In Last Jedi, yeah. She wants to know who her parents are.
And that's why
and then
Kylo
Kylo
tells
has
him.
this revelation to her where he's like, your parents were nobodies. They were paupers in the Jakku desert that sold you for drinking money.
I mean, I don't think he does. I don't think just wanting to know who your parents are doesn't mean you think that they're special.
But then she cries after he tells her.
She cries
that they're
because
nobodies.
they're nobodies.
No, well, okay, that's like saying your mom is trash. He's saying
I guess
your mom
that's true.
is trash.
He's
your mom
like,
is
they
a
just
nobody.
ditched you. They never
They
wanted
don't
to
care.
come back.
He said a lot there, and all of it was hurtful. He was bullying her, and Rey has never
Big
been
meanie.
bullied before.
That's a fair
She
point.
hasn't been bullied before. She grew up on Jakku.
Okay,
Ungar Plutt probably bullied her every day.
Whatever, bro. Actually, I guess Ankar Plot was her first struggle. Whatever. Anyway,
1/4 portion.
her crush made fun of her, basically. Apparently,
Why is he her crush?
I don't know.
He-
but I'm just saying that she has a reason to cry other than thinking that her parents are young Palpatines.
Yes, but I do think that was the purpose of that scene. I genuinely think
I think that
Rian
was-
Johnson was writing it that way.
I think he was writing it for the fans to be like, oh, because we thought they were something special.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But not Rey. I don't think Rey was thinking those thoughts.
doesn't she?
Which is a bad way to write that.
When she goes in that stupid pit into the mirror, she's like, "Who are my parents? Show me my parents." And
then
I
it's
feel
just a
like
bunch
if
of
she
She
If
just sees herself.
if
Which
she
that's
wa-
a bad.
yeah, it
payoff.
doesn't make any sense. That doesn't reveal anything. It's just oh,
And then
screw
if-
you, mirror.
Yeah.
And then the reason she asks that, if she didn't care about who her parents were, she would be asking, where are my parents? Are my parents alive? How can I find them? But she asks, who are they?
Mm.
As if like that's the reason I think she thinks her parents are actually somebody.
Maybe. Yeah. I think. I think it's
100% agree. It's
I
bad
think
writing.
it's poorly written.
Absolutely.
I don't because I don't know because her arc changes. Like the Force Awakens arc is thrown away in favor of
pandering to fan theories.
Anything either reverting back to what it was in Force Awakens, or just like completely giving her a new one that also shuts down the Force Awakens.
Well, didn't Ryan forget that Starkiller Base was in Force Awakens? I don't think he referenced the film that much.
He forgot it blew up.
Is that
yeah, he forgot it blew up because he wanted Phasma to have a line where Phasma was like, "Oh yeah, I was stuck in the trash compactors for like a month," which would mean you blew up. Which still we don't know how you got off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Didn't care to explain that.
Hyperblinking, apparently.
And then he just killed her anyway.
Well, see that
you can't do that.
That armor.
You can't do that without the compressor, though.
That's what her helmet's the compressor.
No.
Yeah.
And it broke in Last Jedi, so that's why she died.
That's why she died.
Yep.
Also, Rian Johnson has a weird obsession with like showing that women are women for sure. Like he has a weird obsession with this idea of feminine beauty because they were gonna put Leia in, something akin to her Force Awakens general outfit, which was like pants and a vest. And he said, no, I want to show her feminine beauty and put her in a dress. And Laura Dern as Admiral Holdo, thought she was going to be wearing like a military outfit. And he was like, no, put her in a ball gown. I want to see her feminine beauty. And when he talks about Phasma's helmet breaking, he's like, I wanted to show that there's this beautiful feminine creature inside this armor. It's like, oh, okay, Ryan.
Weird.
Okay, buddy.
That's like sexism has like evolved. Like this is like Ryan Johnson's like an Eevee of sexism, and he's evolved into this new form of sexism.
Wait, he's a what of sexism?
He's an Eevee. He's an Eevee of sexism, and you can go into different directions. But he's like this new version I've never seen before. That's apparently acceptable.
It's mutated.
It's mutated.
It's grown stronger. It's grown into a franchise-destroying beast.
Yeah, so that was it's weird that he does that.
It's so uncomfortable.
And yet then he takes Rose and he makes her really ugly. Like she's way uglier than that actress is.
She's a lot prettier in the Rise of Skywalker.
I need to rephrase that. I made it sound like Kelly Marie Tran is ugly, but Rose Tico is uglier than her. No, Kelly Marie Tran is not ugly, and Rose Tico is.
Yeah, she's an attractive person, but they put her in like this weird
costume. Awful hair. I think the makeup was bad. Yeah. The costume was bad.
Like she looks really nice in the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
I don't hate when I saw her. I didn't go. I actually hate you. You look different.
It might even be for the lighting. Did you lose some weight
or like?
That freaking green color filter we talked about.
Yeah, right. Lighting that makes everyone ugly. But back to the matter at hand.
Rey's going into the TIE Fighter?
She runs away and Kylo just sits there, doesn't follow her.
He pouts.
And she jumps in his TIE Fighter, which apparently he landed out here and not on the Death Star. So when he got here, he landed out here. He walked into the Death Star, fought Rey, then they walked out here somehow.
While they're fighting.
And
why didn't they have like a dope like Mustafar fight? Because during the Mustafar fight with Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're moving as they're fighting. Like you go from the inside to like the side to the river.
It would have been cool to have them fighting like in the Death Star walls and then move out to the
do some interesting.
You could throw in some nostalgia points too with different locations.
Pass
in the Death Star.
Pass through something that like looks like where Obi-Wan was turning off the tractor beam in New Hope.
Or like,
I know it's a different Death Star, but it would probably.
There was a thing that was like that.
Was there?
I think if I remember right,
when she was climbing, it was like the central.
I was like,
look,
thing.
It could have been.
Oh right,
that's the thing.
Could have been, yeah,
something like that. Also, I want to mention on the fight note, just to slightly go back to that, the musical score for the fights is so underwhelming. Like you think of like the prequel music for
There
fights.
hasn't
Those
been
are like the
any
highlights.
cool song. It's because they don't shoot it like it's a battle set piece. They shoot it like it's just these two characters swinging baseball bats at each other.
Right.
And so John Williams is just like, well, I don't know what to do with this.
Okay.
And you know, there's very little, but I was looking it up the other day, very little for Last Jedi. Minimal, like, behind the scenes footage of John Williams, how he composed. And I wonder if maybe the direction, like, the directors made him compose specifically for a scene. Because, you know, sometimes they do that. It's like, here, copy this piece, and we'll use that for the scene or something.
do temp pieces?
Yeah, generic, yeah, right.
I heard that for Last Jedi, they made him work off of 10 pieces of his own music. Like, they put together a temp soundtrack that was all his own music from other movies and then told him to do something like that. That's what I heard. That could be completely wrong.
What a waste of great talent.
But, like, yeah, I wouldn't put it past them, especially, like, considering they just didn't bring back the original Star Wars sound designer for that movie. For no reason.
Yeah, Ben Burt. Is he in Rise of Skywalker?
I think they brought him back for this. He was in
Okay.
Force Awakens. He didn't do this, and then he didn't do Last Jedi, and then they brought him back for Rise of Skywalker.
What?
Ryan just didn't ask for him or something.
Just like, even like in he chooses to make the film with, he's disrespectful to the franchise.
Yeah. Like, I mean, going back to very briefly to Rose Tico, there's this line where he's in, I think it's the commentary or something he said, where he says, Rose Tico, she just struck me as such a character that shouldn't exist in Star Wars, and that really appealed to me. I'm like, bro, you were going about this the absolute wrong way.
You're right. She doesn't belong in Star Wars.
I mean,
Neither
I'm
does Laura
surprised
Dern, I
you're
don't
aware
think.
of this fact of the universe.
like, I don't know what he means by it, because, like, a mechanic whose sister is in the rebellion, and like a rebellion mechanic whose sister is a pilot in the mechanic doesn't wow. Let me say that one more time. A rebellion mechanic whose sister is in the rebellion
and a pilot.
as a pilot
And then the
doesn't strike me as something that's antithetical to Star Wars. But if he means a condescending bitch that is really preachy to an ex-stormtrooper about how there's actually evil in the world, buddy, then yeah, I agree. That doesn't belong in Star Wars.
That doesn't belong in any cohesive narrative.
Yeah, you're right.
Which
You're right.
these films are not.
It's not just Star Wars. So, she hops in Kylo's ship and just flies off.
She flies to the island.
Leaves everybody, and
Yeah.
like you have this shot of all of the other heroes, like Finn and Poe, just like wait,
okay, so
where's she going?
so they're stuck on that area, or like they're there for a while with Kylo.
oh yeah, she just left them with Kylo.
So Kylo could just straight up just like rage quit and kill them all. There's nothing.
She's
stopping
lucky
him.
he chose to redeem himself for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have. Why did he didn't even need to steal a TIE fighter? What if he had just caught a ride with the Falcon and like went back to the
That would have
Resistance
been-
base?
Oh, that would have been
That would have
dope.
been really interesting as a choice.
Yeah.
If he walks up to them and he's just like, take me to your
Dude,
base.
and then he'd get
They're like, bro, what? No.
No.
And he's like, I have no lightsaber. And then they like,
they're like,
would've
he's a
been
prisoner.
something.
But
Yeah.
then he would have had a really sweet moment with his mother.
oh my god, yeah. You could have actually done some stuff. Damn it.
Oh.
What a missed opportunity that
Yeah,
was.
it's so-
Missed opportunity, the trilogy strikes again.